Welcome to McChats here on McGTV, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Follow me on Twitter at MikeMcGTV. And I have been looking forward to doing this type of McChat for a long while now. I've been talking to my friend who's going to show up on the podcast here in a bit, Matt, about doing just this kind of shoot the shit type of podcast where we just kind of start off on a topic and see where it goes, whether it's going to be serious, whether it's going to be silly, whether we'll get into kind of an impression off, which we've been kind of threatening to do to each other for a while now, is kind of do dual Christopher Walkens or Al Pacinos at one another. But you get a little taste of that in this first episode here. But I decided halfway through recording this podcast to call it Tangent City, because it really does embody that theme where we'll start off, as you'll hear at the beginning of this episode, we start off talking about Cobra, the Sylvester Stallone action movie from the 80s, and just start recording from there, talking a little bit about when that movie came out, a little bit about the car involved in that movie and some of the actors perhaps, and then just from there to see where the conversation goes. I'm always fascinated by all the different tangents that Matt and I are able to kind of go off on. So you'll get a little bit of some comedy, hopefully. You'll get a little bit of some serious, topical, current events type discussion going on there. And then hopefully slide back into comedy. And actually, this conversation went on for almost 3 hours. So what I'm actually going to do probably is cut it halfway through and then save the other half for a later episode. But hopefully we can get this to be sort of a monthly, semi-monthly, regular occurrence, because I feel there's a lot of good stuff in here. So enjoy a little bit of Tangent City from myself and Mr. Matt. And it goes without saying, if we get into some serious conversation, listener discretion advised if you are just so sensitive about hearing different viewpoints on certain topics. Enjoy. You want a black and tan? Or you gonna work on your coffee a bit?
No, coffee's empty. Yeah, I'll take a black and tan.
Alright.
Yeah.
You right?
Terrible. No. I don't know yet. I haven't. Look, this is the description. A tough on crime street cop must protect the only surviving witness to strange murderous cult with far-reaching plans. I just added that last part, but
That is the plot.
That is the plot. Now let's see.
Yeah, it is just straight up that. So, doesn't get any more complicated than that.
Let's see here. I'm wondering if it would be in the trivia box. So this is interesting. When Sylvester Stallone was signed to play the lead in Beverly Hills Cop, he did a lot of work on the screenplay, turning it into an action extravaganza that the studio couldn't afford. He eventually left Beverly Hills Cop and channeled his ideas for that project into this movie. Interesting.
All right. So, banana in the tailpipe wasn't his idea.
I tried to distract you with some food.
I feel like every Stallone is just like...
Every Stallone impression starts up with
Yeah, it's just mumbles and grumbles.
Even though I'm a very articulate individual, if you get to know me, but
You think I want to live here? It stinks. My apartment's not good enough for you, man? The part where Adrian's in a coma, and he's just laying next to the bed, just like...
Okay, calm down, Corky.
Like, I half expecting him to turn around and be like, hey, you guys!
I do that truffle shuffle, I don't.
I'm doing old Stallone. Like, yeah, he was a little bit more expressive when he was younger. Back in the days when he was starving for roles and stuff.
Like Lords of Flashbook? Lords of Flashbook, yeah.
Lords of
Flashbook. Flatbush?
Flatbush, yeah.
Flashbook.
Stallone.
That was a typo. Little guy in my brain. He hit the wrong keys.
He did.
It was autocorrect.
I think like one of his early jobs before even Rocky, like he did like a softcore porn or something.
I know he sang in that movie with Dolly Parton, and that was the
Rhinestone?
funniest. That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
I think it was Rhinestone, right? Was that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he wore like a sequin shirt. He was supposed to be a country music star.
You leave the music to his brother. His brother's the true musician.
Yeah,
Frank Stallone.
I mean, with a name like Frank.
With a name like Frank.
You got to do. No, you don't. You don't even finish that. You just say with a name like Frank, and that's it. Nothing else.
That's all he said when he was born. With a name like Frank.
Oscar, I thought was funny too. I liked Oscar. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who liked the movie Oscar.
Which movie's this now?
A Stallone movie.
I don't remember this one.
Oh man, dude, it was a comedy where he played like a mob boss who was trying to marry his daughter off to somebody, but his daughter falls in love with someone who's not even close to affiliated with the mob. It was a comedy and it was hysterical. It was along the lines of what was that?
What year did it come out?
If I know, dude.
Because all I'm getting right now is, of course, Oscar nominations for 2018, and I'm not in them, so fuck them. Oscar, Sylvester, let me just say, Sylvester. There we go. Then watch, it'll be like, here's what he won Oscars for. Oh, man, he has got rosy cheeks on that cover.
You never saw him looking so full of Yuletide cheer.
1991. Oh, this is like in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot territory. Directed by John Landis. What? That is weird, man. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because it's a comedy, right? So
yeah, and it's
like
I said, I feel like I'm the only guy, possibly the only human being.
Marissa Tomei, Tim Curry. And Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah, it's a good cast, man.
How's the black and tan treating you?
Pretty good, man. That's nice.
Let's see. Does Marissa Tomei she plays his daughter? I'm guessing, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cheers, fella.
Cheers. Chaz Palminteri's in it.
Here's to whiskey, here's to wine, here's to drinking all the time.
Oh, to be sure.
To be sure.
To be sure. That's my just like all my Stallone impressions start with all my Irish impressions start with to be sure. To be sure.
Your go-to Irish is
like to be sure.
To be sure.
To be sure. Fuck off, midgets. I'm in my in Bruges. Whenever I think of Irish, I think of Colin Farrell, and when I think of Colin Farrell, I think of the outtakes of In Bruges, where he's like, "Look over there, they got midgets." Ray, fuck off, midgets.
I'm just like,
I don't know why that makes me smile.
You just picked. I've never seen. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I just picture. Colin
You've never
Farrell.
seen In Bruges?
No.
Oh well, you're in for a treat because I do not own that movie. So. Fuck. It's fun. It's him. It's Colin Farrell, and who's the other Irish actor? Brendan Gleeson. I was about to say Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you say it. Don't you say that man's name in front of me.
It's basically the sequel to Monkey Bone, is what it is. No, but
I've never seen that either.
Oh my god. Well, you're not missing out by not seeing Monkey Bone. It's
so
basically
Monkey Bone was shitty, but the sequel to it, or the movie you claim to be the sequel to it,
this isn't
is
a sequel
worth
to
watching.
Monkey Bone. Colin Farrell is this hitman.
Of course he is. He's either the hitman or the guys who get stuck in the phone booth being shot at by the hitman.
Oh man, you remind me of that movie now.
Terrible movie.
It is.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It was made by Joel Schumacher, so yeah.
It would have been more entertaining
sense.
if they'd have named the movie Porta-John and had him stuck in a fucking porta potty. Like that would have been more entertaining than.
Would have been intentionally hilarious then.
Yeah, being on the phone in a fucking phone booth. Where the fuck was he? That there were cell phones and a phone booth.
I mean,
Like, blingity ding.
speaking of which, I mean, New York still has phone. Well, I mean, not like phone booths. They got those stalls that people, do unseemly things in.
Where?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're all
I
over
don't go to the city, so I don't.
Oh no! I mean, they don't have actual oh, I have to change into Superman type phone booths or anything like that. No, what they do is they have. I remember because they used to have a row of them right outside the apartment building I used to live at. They would have like 4 or 5 telephones in a row, payphones in a row, and they just have dividers. It's like being at the urinal, except it's a phone. But some people treat it as a urinal. Every time you walk by it, you can smell it.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
As long as they don't piss on the phone, I guess, right?
I mean, who's to say? I never used the phone, so I didn't chance it. Now, that would have been the real terror of phone booth, though. Would have been Colin Farrell being like,
this phone smells like piss.
Oh, God, it's awful. Hello? How's the flavor, sir? Oh, God, no. It smells like other shite.
It would have been really good if the guy on the other end of the phone was the same guy who played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. And the real thing was he just made Colin Farrell touch his ear with a receiver that was pissed on.
Put it to your ear. Put it to your ear.
How's the phone smell?
And in the background, you can hear Goodbye Horses.
He's like,
What
would
are
you
you
fuck
talking
me?
about?
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me so hard.
But I guess I'll just piss on the phone.
What was it? It rubs the lotion on its body or it gets the hose again.
Or I'll piss on your phone. Rub the lotion on your skin, or I'll go down there and do ungodly things to your phone.
Give
me back my dog.
I've got that on VHS.
Precious. I have a shirt. When I went to go see Silence the Musical, they were selling shirts that had little cartoon poodles on it, and it said Precious underneath
Aww.
it. So I bought one because I thought it was hilarious. Precious, give me back my dog.
He keeps him at the phone booth all night, and like he puts on night vision goggles. He just goes up to him in the street and like reaches out to him almost. Colin Farrell's just there shivering and wet.
And then you hear zzz. What? How's it raining in the phone booth?
Oh
It
God,
smells
no!
like piss.
Oh, I didn't know the rain had corn niblets in it. Asparagus smell out that night. Must be that acid rain everyone's talking about. Shittiest Irish accent Colin Farrell ever seen. It's like, man, his acting's terrible. He's Irish and he doesn't even sound like he's Irish. He sounds.
I wish they would quit casting him as people who weren't Irish. Like, let him speak.
I mean,
let the man speak.
I bought him in Minority Report as guy with normal accent.
Guy with normal accent.
Yeah, I mean, it was just him going, you ever get any false positives? And you can just hear the accent creeping up behind everything. He's like,
Yeah,
you
but-
just know he's like wanting to break out. And, you ever get any false positives? Oh fuck.
So,
Sorry,
like,
Steven, I'll do it again.
all the movies that he's done, he's never been allowed to just fucking speak. He's always had to try to be American or from Boston. Or
Oh, he's
from
done.
wherever.
He's done plenty of movies where he uses his natural accent,
Yeah.
like Daredevil. That's one of my favorites from him because he is going ape shit in that movie.
So you're talking about the one with Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, the one with Ben Affleck.
We're speaking of the unspeakable right now because a lot of people don't like
It's not good.
that. So if you're talking about what? Okay, all right. So here's how I'm gonna break this
You're gonna
down.
deconstruct a little bit of my taste in movies here.
No, not at all. I'm gonna deconstruct the criticisms
Okay.
surrounding this movie. If you're looking for a live action adaptation of the original comic book, you're not going to get it from that movie. You very rarely get it from any of the movies, so to judge it based on that is sort of biased to begin with. However, if you're looking for a movie that'll entertain you with an all-star cast for an hour and a half, I think you get it with that movie. I think it's entertaining. Regardless of how ridiculous it is, it just makes it more entertaining.
I mean, define entertainment, because I'm like, your definition of entertainment might be different from mine, because
of course it's very subjective.
Yeah.
You know, there's no. I mean, what you like you just said, what you find entertaining is not the same thing that I find entertaining, or it might be in some cases. It's fun to watch big stars be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's my entertainment factor there.
So
it is one of the most gloriously
Affleck,
stupid things I've ever seen.
Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner. You've got the Farrell guy, John.
I'm sorry,
Farrell.
I was thinking
Jack Farrell. What's his fucking name?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
Will Ferrell as
No, that's the wrong Farrell.
Daredevil. Oh, I don't know what that was.
It sounded like a commercial for Hot Pockets.
I don't know why. I don't know why I was going for which Will Ferrell character I was going for. That I should have just gone for Ron Burgundy. Be like,
I just did like 1,000 of these.
Hello, Daredevil. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Michael Clark Duncan. Anyways, Michael Clark.
Yeah.
Duncan.
So you got Michael Clark Duncan, who plays the big boss, or the big boss, right? That was the
Kingpin.
Kingpin. That's the one.
Yeah.
Him
and Colin Farrell are the best parts.
And then numerous other like character actors.
Joey Pants is in it. Joey Pantoliano. The Chief from Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like numerous other character actors. So to watch big names do stupid shit, like okay, I'm entertained.
I think it succeeds in that because I have a good laugh every time I see that movie.
Exactly. It's just things that are so ridiculous. Colin Farrell in that movie is funny. To me, he's not that intimidating. It's just funny.
No, he is. He's just, you can tell he's having a ball.
And I feel like if you can tell all the actors are having a blast fucking this movie up, like what does it matter?
Well, here's the whole thing is everyone went into that movie, I think, wanting to get something different out of that movie, except for like, I'm gonna do this source material justice, because I think no one really gave a shit about doing that source material justice. They were just like, we'll be fine. The X-Men have just hit theaters and they're doing well. Spider-Man's doing really well. We're coming out next. We'll be fine. And like the reason Ben Affleck took Daredevil is because it was right after, it was a couple years after Batman and Robin had come out.
And he was like, if George Clooney can do it, I can do it?
Well, no, he was basically like, well, the Batman movies are going to be dead. It was before Christopher Nolan did his serious overhaul with the Batman stuff. And he was just like, well, they're never going to do Batman again, and I love Batman, so I might as well get the next best thing. Daredevil, he's kind of like Batman.
Wait a minute.
He's like, no. He's kind of like Batman. I guess I'll do that.
All right, so if Ben Affleck thinks Daredevil is kind of like Batman, then he's fucking dumber than I ever thought.
Well, no, I mean,
Daredevil is not like Batman.
Parent got killed by crime, lives in a shitty city and shitty neighborhood, pointy ears, trained with ninjas, actually. That's part of Daredevil's thing, is he was trained by a ninja, so...
Right.
But, I mean, it's not a good version of Batman. Kind of like his recent version of Batman.
The Caped Crusader, son of a fucking Brazilianaire corporate philanthropist, right?
Brazilianaire?
I mean, he may or may not... He may or may not have been
Brazilians.
He may or may not have been from Brazil. We never get to know that much of the storyline. His
Yo soy Batman.
Cultural heritage.
Or was it Batman Hermanos? Yo soy.
But in any case, he was the son of a millionaire who had more money than he knew what to do with, and he was pissed off that his dad was senselessly gunned down.
And his mom, too.
And his mom, both his parents, of course, with the pearl necklace. Not the good one, but the one that actually gets torn off her neck. Daredevil became a lawyer.
Yeah.
Didn't have money. Like,
That's part of the everyman thing, though.
Right,
is
but
that he not only became a lawyer, he became a really shitty lawyer, too. So that's why he has to go out later on and dress up as Daredevil to go beat up the criminals that he wasn't able to prosecute correctly during the day. That's what he does in the movie. He's like, one of the guys gets off scot-free, and he sucks at his job, so he's like, I'm going to dress up later and go beat this guy up.
He's almost like the Robin Hood of crime fighting. You know, if that makes any sense. It's not like he's stealing.
You caught me in mid-swallow on my whiskey, so I'm like, the only thing I could say was, nah!
I mean, that's okay. I'm you know. If I had $1 for every time I had made a man make that noise, I would be a rich fellow.
So speaking of...
Not for the reasons that you think. Because of the stupid things that come out of my mouth, most of the time, it takes a minute. First of all, for it to sink in to everybody else's brain. It's like a sponge, so it's got to sink in. My brain's like a brick. Everything pretty much just beads up.
The funniest part of that was I was like, he's gonna say sponge. I just know it. He's gonna say sponge at some point here.
Yeah, no.
And you're like, sponge.
I love that. I love that word.
It absorbs like a sponge.
It's got pores. Absorbent, yellow, and porous is he.
You know, there's some sponges out there that are alive.
They're all alive. Everything's alive until it's not.
At the bottom of the seabed, they do a march, a very slow one. I don't know. So anyways, Colin Farrell.
Daredevil is the broken, came from nothing, son of a no good guy who, with his last effort of righteousness, dies.
Yeah.
He gets killed. So,
and on top of that, he's blind.
Right. Well, he wasn't born blind.
Oh, yeah.
But he is blind. Now he's blind.
Fun little trivia about that, though, because we were talking about Ninja Turtles earlier. Ninja Turtles actually, quote-unquote, kind of share an origin story with Daredevil.
How's that possible?
So, the story goes, like, the reason Daredevil is blind is because he had to save an old man from crossing the street, and the truck that had like chemical
the chemical spill
hits him in the face. But then at that same time, a boy drops his bowl of turtles down the sewer with the chemical, apparently.
Oh.
So like the Ninja Turtles kind of sort of shared an origin with Daredevil.
The movie could have been called Daredevil: The Origin of the Ooze. They could have made that the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah. It enhances people, takes away their sight, and mutates big turtles. It's basically an all-purpose... It's an all-purpose tool.
It's like the Ajax of chemicals. It's just... You can clean anything with it. You can use it as you could use it as an industrial lubricant. Also blinds you.
Enhances your other senses.
Yeah. Pour some in your ear.
See what happens. No, don't really do that.
You never know. You'll either get superhuman hearing or you'll die of brain hemorrhaging.
Well, you know, there's a lot of brain trusts out there right now because they do like the whole, whatchamacallit, the Tide Pod challenge. And...
I read a whole article on a class action lawsuit against Tide being brought by members of fucking Congress to make them change the colors of the Tide Pod, of the detergent. First of all, you don't need color in a detergent. It's added to make it more marketable. You don't need colors at all. Color and fragrance have nothing to do with each other. You can add fragrance without adding color.
Right.
Totally Awesome, which is sort of like a lesser, like a dollar store brand of detergent, which is in fact totally awesome.
And it beats everything smelling like pure chemical solution.
Right. They add fragrance, but not the bottles are different colors, but the detergent itself is not. And I know because it spills all over the floor all the time, and I have to clean it up because the containers are made stupid cheap. But anyway, I digress from that.
What's the deal with?
I can't believe that there's a class action lawsuit against Tide and members of Congress. Fucking idiot. I knew they were stupid, but I didn't know. I didn't know how far gone they were when they can hold this up and say, this looks like candy. Did you take it out of a candy dish? Or did you pull it out of a container that says "Do not eat"?
Exactly.
Keep away from children.
And here's the thing too:
there is no amount of legislation that's going to stop the epidemic of fucking irresponsible parents leaving shit out for their kids to chew on. You know what I'm saying?
Or let's face it. These are the kids with really bad judgment.
These are the same fucking people that want to sue public service when their fucking kid licks a fucking socket and gets electrocuted. They want to sue public service. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not the fucking problem.
And also, here's the thing too: the company itself is not advocating the usage of Tide Pods like that. You know, it'd be one thing if they were like, "Oh yeah, can fit in your lunchbox or whatever."
Exactly.
But they're not.
That's
like
not
they
the
clearly label it as this is a cleaning tool. Don't ingest.
It's a fucking.
Don't be stupid.
It's a detergent.
How can you can't. Now, certainly, you could argue, and again, you know me, I just like to devil's advocate the hell out of things with you, just because.
Oh.
just
the devil's advocate.
We'll get to Pacino. Nice.
Well, that was the Black and Tan coming back to say,
Nice.
hey. It was the mating call, the Black and Tan. Once more whiskey to hang out with in my belly.
There you go.
So
it's all good. But no, that's the whole deal. Is yeah. I mean, certainly you could argue okay, well, now in light of all these recent things, just make your Tide Pods less appetizing. Look, I guess, or make them look less appealing. I guess. Well, could be the argument you make, but
I think they should make them look like little hot dogs because the motherfucker of this whole thing is that people are gonna do stupid shit no matter what.
Yeah.
You cannot stop a fucking idiot from doing fucking idiot stuff.
Yeah.
So whether it looks like a little hot dog or people swallow fucking change. Why? Why would you take a quarter and say, that looks tasty, and fucking eat it? It doesn't make any sense. So people are going to eat change, they eat rocks, they eat glass, they eat nails. People eat all kinds of stupid shit. It's nobody else's responsibility but that fucking individual.
Oh, dude, you don't understand. Congress has to take down Big Nail.
Big Nail?
And the way they know how to do it
is... It's a big construction.
Big construction.
Take down I mean, kids eat drywall. There's so much... just in any given house, there's so much shit that people, not just kids, fucking, of course, children discover the world. They're children are just like puppies. They piss all over the place. They shit everywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. And they discover the world with their nose in their fucking mouth. How
is your puppy, by the way?
He's fucking great. He's awesome.
Nice.
I love my fucking dog. He is the best. The only good thing to come out of that relationship, fucking cunt. Anyway, I
have some more whiskey.
Yeah, well, let me finish my Black and Tan first.
I'm gonna pour me another one here. Oh man, but no, yeah, I get what you're saying though. It's it's asinine.
Stop trying to save me from me. You know what I'm saying? The stupid fucking look. As far as I'm concerned, if the next person who puts a Tide Pod in their mouth chokes on it and dies, great. One less fucking idiot. The rest of us have to support.
It's the culling. Yeah, it's the
I'm at a law. I'm at a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Why you don't need lawsuits? You can't sue somebody for having no common fucking sense.
Someone put a meme recently on one of my friends' walls, and it was a picture of the world, and it had Alaska and the U.S. highlighted in green, and it was basically saying, and the green in the legend, green stood for two things. One, put a car out into space. Elon Musk did that whole thing with a car out in space thing. Put a car out in space, and then green also stood for Tide Pod Challenge. So it's equally smart, equally stupid. It's yeah.
It just drives me crazy how all right. So like rules and laws, okay? Look at some of the stupid fucking rules that establishments have, or stupid laws that we have on the books is because somebody fucking did that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm all for doing something for the fucking sheer curiosity of doing it. However, that has a fucking limit. For example, okay, I am not going to jump off a platform in front of a train just to see what it feels like to get hit by a train.
It'll be the last thing you feel.
Exactly. I don't care that much about it. I'm pretty sure,
Right.
like, I've had heavy people sit on me. I'm pretty sure it feels something like that.
Yeah.
Just a little more extreme coming at you 200 miles an hour.
I'd say there's a whole margin of difference between a fat person sitting on you and getting hit by a train.
All right, well, fair enough. But in any case,
A fat person can't build up that much speed, for starters.
like, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but
There's a fine line between I'm really curious about what this could be like or what this could be.
well, for example, like we have some liquor here and things like if you want to try a new liquor or you want to try a new type of drink or something like that, and you're not quite sure about because you've never really been, let's say, a big gin person or something like that, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try this mixed gin convention. I'm gonna give it a try. That's perfectly reasonable gamble. Like there's degrees of risk in every decision in our life.
There's a scientific process to that. I think
Yeah.
I've heard it might taste like this, so I think it'll taste like this. I'm going to try some, test my hypothesis, and revisit as necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll try a different gin next time, or maybe I'll like this gin, or whatever the case may be.
Or like what we used to do when the Love Bar was
But
open, and
when
what's his name would bring in ghost peppers. Be like, you know what?
Nope.
This isn't. Well, here's the thing: is like
No.
there is. I know
No.
you wouldn't do it.
Ghost peppers kill people.
They didn't kill me. But here's the thing: is like you said, reasonable risk. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat the whole stupid thing. I'm gonna have a sliver of it. A sliver. A sliver was enough. But I was like, you know what? I took a chance. I took a risk because I was like, I know this will come back and get me a little bit. I'm gonna have some consequences later. But you know what? It's not like I ate the whole thing. It's not like I ingested a full ghost pepper and. Now my colon's blown out or something. But I'd even say there's several degrees between ghost peppers or trying out new tastes or new foods to ingesting chemicals that aren't meant for your body.
Right. I mean, there's
And like you said, stupid's gonna do stupid.
exactly. Stupid people are going to do stupid things. There's nothing you can do to stop a stupid person from doing something completely stupid.
They'll find a way.
They will find a way.
And I mean,
there's too much, I don't know. And now we're kind of going really off topic because the only thing coming into my the only thing coming into my
off topic. What do you? It's like this is tangents. I mean, it's all about this.
Oh, this is fucking Tangent. I'm going to build you a fucking.
That is the name of the podcast, Tangent City. So
I am going to build you a fucking kingdom of tangent right now.
Nice.
Because my mind, and because of how I feel inside, deep within me, maybe somewhere near the cockles, is.
Maybe near the subcockles.
I am an asshole. I love that song. But we'll get to that later.
Maybe the liver, maybe the lungs.
I hate the fact that the government is so in my life. Protect me from foreign enemies, okay? Punish people who want to do unjust things to me. Mm-hmm. But stop trying to protect me from me. Like, it's my life. Let me fucking live it. They're like the parent that's just right over you every time you want to do something.
Too much regulation, essentially.
Too much regulation on an individual level.
Unnecessary regulation. Yeah,
unnecessary regulation. Like, the government's job is not to protect Sue from Joe. It's not to protect Mary from Jane. The government's job is to protect and do what's best for the collective. Mm-hmm. You can't start even taking small groups of people, and this is one of my biggest fucking pet peeves, and one thing I think is insanely unconstitutional is having what defined by law or outlined by law is crimes against a protected class of people, which is basically anybody who's not an Anglo-white male, between ages of 18 and 35. You know what I mean? If you're between ages of 18 and 35, Anyone can do anything to you, and it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if you're a child, if you're under 18, and someone does something to you, they have somehow violated a child's civil liberties or whatever the case may be. If you're over, then it's a crime against the elderly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not if you're just over. If you're 36, I don't think it's a crime against the elderly, but you know what I'm saying. There's protected classes of people. You know, if a fellow of Judeo faith, right, punches me in the face because I'm being an asshole, people are going to say an asshole just got punched in the face. For being an asshole, you shouldn't be an asshole anymore. Stop being an asshole, you won't get punched in the face. If I, an Anglo-Saxon white male between the ages of 18 and 35, punched someone of Judeo faith in the face for being an asshole,
they wouldn't perceive it as the same thing.
It's a fucking hate crime.
Right.
I am now a fucking Nazi or a white supremacist or a Jewophobe or whatever fucking case may be.
Here's the thing with that too. It's like the one thing that kind of has been aggravating me a lot lately is the fact that the concept of degrees is no longer relevant to the discussion anymore when it comes to fair and balanced justice for everybody. It's like everyone's completely forgotten, like, yeah, there's shitty things, but there are degrees of shitty things. And you have to kind of accept that while there are shitty things that take place, there are way worse, shittier things that someone can do. And, like, what you just described there is that, like, yeah, if you punch someone in retaliation for something, it's not the most opportune response.
It's not retaliation.
But at the same time, it doesn't have to take root in that whole, like, oh, well, you know, this person's more privileged just based off of, you know,
I'm not talking
ethnicity to begin with.
I'm not even talking about privilege. This fucking I don't even want to talk about that. I'm just.
I mean, I just use that as a kind of.
I'm just talking about the same crime against a straight Christian white male is committed as is against a homosexual Hispanic Muslim. I'm just like throwing out just the minority of the minority of the minority, like the
spin the wheel, see what you get.
Exactly, like the lightning strike individual, the 1 in 7 billion guy.
Right.
Okay, a crime against him is considered more severe by law as the same crime against me, and that's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Look, a crime is a crime is a crime. You murder somebody, it shouldn't matter who you murdered. You fucking murdered them. If they weren't coming at you, threatening your life directly, or your property directly, or your family directly, you need to go to prison. And that's just fucking it.
Due process exists for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But due process is not the same for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that is the unfortunate thing. Because due process is immediately...
my problem with due process is it just says that you're entitled to a fair trial. Now, you're entitled to a fair trial from a jury of your peers. Who are my fucking peers?
The perception's already skewed because in certain cases, like, due process is already affected by mob rule mentality.
Right, exactly. And groupthink, which is, I mean, groupthink...
It's hard to maintain that objectivism.
It's the most dangerous thing that threatens a society is groupthink.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, mob mentality. It's just... no one thinks for themselves anymore, and that's a problem. Well, it's a huge fucking problem.
It taints the objectivity of what you're trying to do. It's like, okay, yeah, for example, yeah, you like go back to your original situation. It's like you end up punching someone of judo, whatever. Judo.
Yeah, no,
give me another whiskey.
You punch a martial artist. And he fucks you up. That's how that goes.
Judeo.
And nobody says shit because according to the law, you got what you deserve.
Right. But the key factor there is that you want to be able to factor in the fact eyewitness accounts. No, this person actually instigated the altercation, resulting in someone retaliating.
Eyewitness accounts don't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's the thing.
First of all,
but also,
authorities are only going to take into account eyewitness testimony that fits whatever their fucking narrative is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
So even then, it's already, like, fucked.
It's already tainted. Because you and I could watch the same fucking situation happen and have two completely different perceptions of it. So the fact that anytime there's an eyewitness, I don't fucking... it doesn't make a difference to me. And I feel like if I killed somebody... Like I'm relatively confident in my ability. In my ability, I have a sort of a we'll call it a loose moral. Like I have really loose morals. I would kill a person without the shadow of a doubt. I could kill a human being. I could strangle them with my bare hands and watch the life flee from their body. I would have no problem with that.
I'll edit that part out. Don't worry.
If it were, you don't have to. If it were just, if I felt that that person was threatening my life, my family's life, my dog's life, if they were trying to steal property that I fucking worked hard for, I would have no problem doing what I felt needed to be done. At the same time, I am a man of integrity. So I understand through defense of my property and my person, I have also committed a crime. I am not going to hide that fact. I am not going to deny it. I'm not going to force this legal burden with a huge fucking trial. Prove that I did this. I'll fucking tell you I did this.
You'll confess, yeah.
I fucking killed the dude, man. This is what he was trying to do to me. You know?
Mm-hmm.
He came at me with a knife, so I fucking beat him to death with a stick. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I mean, that's what I did. Should I have waited for him to stab me first before I...
Well, I mean,
no.
You're talking too about like those extreme situations where you'd think again. Let me throw it out. You'd think a majority of your quote unquote peers would understandably kind of be like relating to that. Be like, oh well, yeah. In the immediacy of the situation,
it doesn't matter whether it's relatable or not. What I'm trying to say is, you know, everyone says there's nothing is black and white. There's always a gray area. No, not always. When it comes to the law is written. It's in, and I'm not a religious person, but it's in scriptures too. Most scriptures, thou shalt not kill. That's, of course, a biblical commandment, but I'm sure it's in most scriptures. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. An eye for an eye. It's been around for hundreds and thousands of years.
But would you also argue, though, that it's been around for hundreds of thousands of years, but also...
Not hundreds of thousands, hundreds and thousands.
Hundreds and thousands.
Because I don't think humans have been here for 100,000 years.
But the whiskey's telling me it's been hundreds of thousands of years.
Whiskey's been here for 100,000 years.
In the soil somewhere.
Here's to whiskey. Here's to the good old whiskey.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that, yeah, it's been around for a long period of time, those kind of moral... standards that we sometimes hold ourselves to. But even though, wouldn't you argue though that those are kind of subjective to criticism as well, because those are written by people at a certain point in life where it was like eating meat on a Friday was hell-worthy? Quoting Dogma, it was like where the rules were, let's say, a little bit more stringent. I mean, yeah, sure, there's certain things like don't murder. Like I can totally get behind that, but there's certain subjectivity to other things that they laid down as kind of being like fundamental, like no.
All I'm saying is, if you know the difference between right and wrong, and you know what? I'll give you a better example, right?
Okay.
So, let's just right here, hypothetical situation. You're married. Your wife is diagnosed with a terminally ill, some sort of condition. Okay? She will die unless you can get this medicine for her and give it to her every day for however long it takes for this illness to go away. Left untreated, she will die. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. It's certain. She will die. You try to get this medicine, you can't afford it. Right? You can't afford it. There's no one going to help you. There's no program out there that you qualify for. You just can't afford it. But you know where this medicine is. You know where you can steal this medicine from. All you have to do is get this medicine and give it to your wife, and she will live. What do? Do you steal the medicine? Because if you're going strictly by what's written down in law, you can't steal the medicine because it's illegal. And if you're supposedly, if you're a moral person, you don't want to do that. My answer, and when I was taking psychology, this was a part of, I forget which early psychologist called this like the moral dilemma. But for me, it's not a fucking dilemma. I love my wife. I want my wife to live. I steal the fucking medicine for her without a doubt. Do I hide the fact that I stole it? No. Do I accept the consequences of my action? Hey, you stole this fucking medicine. You're going to prison. Okay. I'll sit there in prison. My wife still lives. She'll be there when I get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, accept responsibility for yourself. Don't fucking put that shit on anybody else. Mm-hmm. I have no problem breaking the law. And if I get caught breaking the law, I'm not going to lie about it. You know?
You'll own up to it.
You own up to it. You just have some fucking integrity and be like, yeah, I fucking stole that shit. I couldn't afford it and I needed to save my wife. You can't have it back because the medication's already been administered and my wife now lives. Mm-hmm. So I don't want a ticker tape parade. I don't want people to praise me. I don't even want my wife to feel a type of way because this is what a marriage should be. I will do anything to make sure that you live and you survive and you're happy and everything's, everything's the way it should be. But I also understand that the laws are laws. Like, laws have nothing to do with morality. That's completely different. Mm-hmm. Laws are basically guidelines for society, and morality is guidelines for you. You know? So this is why I'm saying, like, you can be a good person and still break the law. And this is where our whole justice system is all fucked up because the system is designed and predicated on the assumption that once you break the law, you're a terrible person.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. It's like
you can't get a job because you broke the law because they have this assumption that you're a terrible person.
Yeah,
no.
It is extremely unfairly balanced and kind of slanted in certain cases to favor, like you said, certain demographics or certain things over one another. Or at that point, when they get things wrong, objectively when they get things wrong, such as evidence, such as, the wrong call on a case because due to recent evidence that's surfaced, be it DNA or things like that, they still won't own up to it, essentially. Like, yeah, there's corruption in the system itself, and there is a problem with it. I totally agree on that front. It's just a matter of, like, I guess what you're kind of saying about is the sort of extremist response at times for things. It's like, is it a little too much at times, or are you sure you're out of all those options? Because I was while you were talking about, like, yeah, going over and instinctually what I would want to do is what you said, I would steal it. Yeah, instinctually. But then instinctually too, after the fact, you kind of factor in, like, you mentioned a couple of facets of it too, where it's, well, I'll go to prison, she'll get better, but what's life gonna be like for her? Like, what if I don't get out of prison with regards to this? What if, she's left with kind of the expenses of treatments and things like that all on her own, essentially?
No, there are no more treatments.
Well, but
she's completely 100% cured.
But you still got to deal with the financial fallout of it.
Financial fallout of what?
I mean, the treatments don't necessarily always get paid off right away.
No, there is no more treatment. You stole the only treatment available, so you didn't pay for it. You administered the magic pill, and your wife is healed, completely healthy.
Okay, so wait a minute. So I'm all of a sudden I'm able to administer this miracle cure on my own without any medical knowledge.
Yeah, it's a medicine in capsule form, whatever it is.
Oh, okay, so it's a medicine in capsule. I didn't know that.
No, I'm not saying your wife needs open heart surgery, so go steal the fucking tools to do the open heart surgery.
Well, no, because here's the thing, too. It's like, I don't know the parameters of the situation, too, because I'm like, well, what if I'm not a doctor. It's like, what if this needs to be administered at a certain point, a certain time? It's like, that's the thing, too. It's like,
it's a hypothetical situation. It's the design.
That's
the design of the situation is so that you focus on the human condition, which is legality versus morality, is part of being human. It's not designed so that you can fucking overanalyze the medicine.
But at the same, well, it's not just overanalyzing the medicine, but it also factors into
how many seeds is she gonna need a morphine drip? How am I gonna do this? I can't hang a bag and do the thing at the same time and open heart surgery.
But you're kind of
all that.
The way you're kind of setting it up is like there's absolutely no other option other than to steal it. I'm like,
can I swipe another one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, there is no other option because you can't afford to buy it and no one's just gonna give it to you. There is no charity involved.
Interesting. But I don't know. Just I guess it's just the eternal optimist in me. Always kind of. Yeah, I know it's fucked, but.
Hey, dude, I almost had a rude awakening. So, you know where these are in your fridge, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were. I immediately went to the door, and I grabbed a thing of what I can only assume to be soy sauce.
Yep.
So that would have been terrible.
Yeah, I would have been like, this is the worst black and tan ever.
It's very salty. Did you add salt to these?
But no, I get what you're saying though with regards to that. It's just, I mean, the line of work I'm in, you're gonna put it in this shot glass.
You goddamn right, because it's gonna mix with the whiskey / sake, and it's gonna be
that Goose Island from last night all over.
Oh my god, that beer was so good, bro.
Nice.
I want to go have another one.
But that's the thing. Is like you're asking someone who.
That's good. You could just put that back in the cabinet now. It's clean.
Oh, I'm sure. you're asking. I mean, it all depends too on who you're asking. Because you're asking someone who part of my job, I have to kind of I have to analyze things. Particularly, as like as much as I do want to go with a gut reaction, like part of me does say like, hold up. Are there really? You're totally out of options. And it's a little difficult for me to just say like, no, completely out of options. This won't work. Option B won't work. You can't go through this provider or this supplier or anything like that. If it came down to absolutely no other options available, I would probably I'd take the bullet on that, certainly.
All right,
But part of me just couldn't get into that mindset because I'm like that feasibly, I don't know. It's like there's always a way to work the system.
If you absolutely had to break the law to do what you knew was morally right, would you do it? Or would you abide the law regardless of what you felt?
No, if I absolutely right? Positively had to do it, I would do it.
Okay. Why?
Like what you said before, because of the fact that it doesn't always align with morality. And what morally I feel I should do will kind of fly in the face of a lot of, what you said, regulations and laws that are put in place for whatever reason, but at the same time they are, at that point, an obstacle and a hindrance to what I want to accomplish.
Right. So here's my rationale, is that the judge, the jury, the executioner, the lawyers, the cop who arrested me...
Come on.
No, I'm just saying...
How dare you save this woman's life?
Everyone inside the system, they're not going to have to live with me. They're going to see me for a couple of hours, I'm assuming, in the courthouse, and then that's it. They're not going to have to... I'm the only one that's going to have to live with me, okay? So I could either say, well, I did everything that I could within the law, and now my wife is dead, and try and pay for a funeral.
Here's the thing. Do you genuinely believe like the law would be just so hardline and stringent on that they wouldn't cut you slack on that front?
I don't care whether they cut me slack. It's not about...
I mean, I know you'd own up to it. You'd own up to it regardless, and like you said, you'd be stating here's what happened.
It's about being able...
I was left with no options, so I had to do it.
It's about being able to live with yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So...
I mean, I'd be able to live with myself with that decision. I'd definitely be able to feel confident. It's like, no, I saved their life. I was able to save her life when no one else could. I'd feel good about that. I'd feel right in that decision.
So it's when people make decisions, they tend to weigh the consequences of their decisions. Subjectively, like very, very personally, based on their perceptions of themselves and what it's important that other people know about them. If you think it's important that other people know you have money, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna flaunt money. You're gonna be like, I bought this. I didn't have to steal it. I just threw money at it, and I got everything I wanted. If you think it's important, like I feel it's important to be honest and have integrity and to just be and you know, I hate to say it like this because it doesn't mean the same thing today as it meant 20 years ago, but be a fucking man about it. If you do something wrong, just fucking own it. Just say you did it. Accept the consequences. Be like, look, I'm fucking sorry. I didn't have a choice. This is what happened. This was the situation. This is what I did. You want to punish me for it? Okay, punish me because I broke the law. You don't want other people to think it's okay to break the law, and I get that. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay that I broke the law. But am I okay with it? Can I live with myself? Am I going to sleep good tonight? Fuck yeah. You know why? Because in 2.5 years, when I get out of here, because I'm sure you're going to charge me with grand fucking larceny, shit's like $1,000 a pill. When I get out of here, guess what? I'm going to go home to my wife. Bottom line.
What if, hypothetically, though, she can't wait that long? She moves on, and the pool boy starts to look really... Because you have a pool boy, apparently.
I have a pool boy. I can't afford the medication, but I can afford to have a pool boy. No, and let me tell you something. If I can't afford the medication, but we have a pool boy, she's already fucking him, because no one's cleaning pools for free. That job sucks.
Okay, maybe not the pool boy. Someone she doesn't see regularly. A tennis instructor, sure.
How about me? Fuck, I'm in prison. You ain't gonna see me regularly. Why don't you have an affair?
No, I get what you're saying, though.
Me.
It comes back to what we were mentioning before when we were talking about Daredevil, which, by the way, you might get off if you have Daredevil as your lawyer. Who knows? Or not as your lawyer, but as your prosecutor.
Let me ask you this. If Daredevil was my prosecutor and I did get off scot-free, zero punishment,
would he track you down?
Would you think Daredevil would come beat me up?
I think he'd let you slide on that. Because honestly, probably the reason you get off scot-free is because Daredevil's like, my heart's really not in this one. He's like, the dude saved his wife. What am I gonna do?
He saved his wife.
The Kingpin's killed like 50 dudes. I can't deal with this.
The Daredevil's coming in the courthouse. Click, 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 click. What am I even doing here? Click, click.
Is this even the courthouse? Where'd you bring me? I need to get
Welcome to McDonald's. Motherfucker! You sons of bitches. They do this to me all the time.
They just spin me around when I think I'm at the courthouse. I just walk into Sbarro or something.
Sbarro. I'm surprised New York doesn't have a Sbarro in like the vestibule of the courthouse.
Oh, you'd think.
You would think.
Certainly.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Hey, hope you're all enjoying the first episode of Tangent City with myself and Matt. While Matt's taking a bathroom break, let me just quickly kind of throw out a little bit of shameless advertising here and tell you a little bit about TeePublic. TeePublic is a great website here where you're able to get some custom shirts and apparel or what have you from all your favorite creators. I actually happen to have a TeePublic store online right now where you can pick up some McGTV apparel. I got some t-shirts for McGTV right now, a little To the Chat Cave logo that you can put on your t-shirts, your mugs, your coasters, what have you. And actually an original Chat Cave print that I made especially to hang on your wall. So please go check out teepublic.com/user/Mike McGTV and purchase some McGTV swag while you're there. Support what I do here on YouTube, support the podcast, support my friends. You'll find some 3 Geeks on there as well. Just buy some cool merch. I hate using that word, but whatever. teepublic.com/user/Mike McGTV. Back to Tangent City. Thank you all.
Because I'm trying to figure out why a guy with a tan year-round has fucking copper tone in his bathroom.
I do have copper tone in my bathroom. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm like, why do you have suns? First of all, why is the sunscreen in your... Like, you don't have a skylight where you could, like, I don't know, get sunburn while you're taking a shower.
Right. Every once in a while when my folks show up, my dad's Scotch Irish, he burns up easy. So
oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I actually do burn up pretty easy.
He lobsters the fuck out. I guarantee it. He does.
I do too. In the
you
summer,
really?
Yeah. Like if I spend way too much time out, like say I would go out to like Cape May or something and just hang out on the beach for a while, and was just completely negligent of putting some product on.
Of some sort.
I would burn. Like I do get red. It doesn't look natural. I'll let you know that right at the bat, but.
It doesn't look natural.
It looks weird. It does. I'll admit it. No, I'm not that tan. Jeez. I'm a nice olive.
Just stop right there. I'm a nice olive.
Nice olive.
I mean, we use food to describe him, but he's a couch potato. He's a good egg.
You're
a nice olive.
I'm a nice Greek hummus.
You're not
color.
orange. You're not orange, kid.
Not orange. Hummus isn't always orange.
It's always orange.
It's dark beige, I think, at times, right? Or am I eating the wrong kind of hummus?
Fella, I'm colorblind. I don't really know what color anything is.
Are you really colorblind?
Yeah.
To what, specifically?
All right, so...
If you don't mind me bringing up this very painful, obviously, part of your background.
Why, is it that obvious? Do I not match today? Is that what you're telling me?
Nah.
Listen. When I lived in Florida, I used to wear a shirt and tie to work.
Okay.
And I bought 2 shirts and 2 patterned ties. I went out by myself like a fucking idiot, a colorblind fucking idiot, like Ray Charles in an art museum, just fucking buying shit. I have no idea what I'm looking at, and I dressed for work. And of course, I was out of the house before my girlfriend at the time, fucking cunt, and so I get to work, and I'm probably the second person there, and the first person doesn't sit anywhere fucking near me, so we just, hey Bob, hey Bill, whatever, just like over all the cubicles.
Yo, Bob.
Yeah, just over the cubicles, just throw our hand up, say hey, good morning, whatever. Everybody comes in. No one's looking at me. No one looks at anybody. You look at the fucking computer screen. Except for my trainer, who sat directly to my left, and he was training me, so he and I would have face-to-face discussions all day long, much like you and I are having right here.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me the one day, and he's like, what are you wearing? And I was like, I'm wearing... And of course I was like, I'm wearing clothes. I don't understand the question. Like, what do you... I'm my cousin Vinny, this motherfucker. And he looks at me and he's like, your shirt is like mint green and your tie is like navy blue. What are you fucking wearing? And I was like, really? Because to me, let me tell you what I saw when I put this on in the morning. I saw a gray shirt, okay, and a purple tie. And I was like, gray and purple look really good together. I'm going to wear that.
So, if I were to show you this guy, Leonardo Ninja Turtle figure here, what color is the skin?
Well, the skin is green.
But what are you actually seeing?
Green.
You are actually seeing green. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So it has to be like a certain degree of green. See, things are in degrees.
That's right. Everything is in degrees. So, this picture frame, I'm relatively confident is red.
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
However, the border around that poster and the lightsaber look orange to me.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of orange too. More so in the border than the lightsaber. Yeah.
The border and the lightsaber?
Everything for you is orange.
The border and the lightsaber look like they're the exact same color. Orange. It looks like the exact same color, the exact same shade of the color. Orange.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Let me see if I can think of another example of something that I know what color it is, but I'm going to tell you what color it looks like.
But it's not registering as that color.
What it looks like to me, as I know colors.
I've heard of these colors before.
A perfect example. The gun.
I had a feeling like the sunset.
The gun in that painting. Right?
Oh, the gun.
The gun.
Okay.
The gun and the smoke. I know that's a gun, so I know it's gray.
Okay.
Or what you would call gray. But could very easily confuse that for a light blue.
Really?
Or a really light green.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, what I used in that was basically like a little bit of silver and black mixed with titanium white. But nothing having, how you would typically mix colors. Sometimes you would mix a little bit of, say, blue or green into something in order to maybe get that organically. But I just had those colors already kind of mixed.
I have a difficult time with red, brown, and orange.
Okay.
I just... if you put the 3 colors next to each other, I probably wouldn't get them right. Blue and purple is a fucking struggle for me. Black and navy, forget it. I'm never going to see the difference between those two. I can
get the black and navy, because navy blue is pretty dark
It's
already.
pretty dark, yeah. So I have zero abilities discerning black from navy blue.
But it's not like it's completely like alien to you. Like if you see that there's a little bit of murkiness to the color, you're like, oh well, clearly that's either blue or purple or something like that.
Typically, I'll say it could be anything.
Okay.
Could be anything. It's not like, and so when I tell people that I'm colorblind, they say to me, "So what does it look like to you? Is everything just gray?" No, everything's not fucking like I'm not like a black and white TV. Like things, everything has colors. I just can't tell the difference between them, and that's the easiest way to describe it. So I know things have color. I know everything is in color. I just don't know the difference between.
You've got the vital colors down at least. Like you can drive, so you know like stop and go and all that.
There's a difference between green and yellow and red. I get that, but if the fucking lights were brown, orange, and red, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they weren't in a line, you know, because it's stop, slow, go.
Right.
I know that.
You know the order, but
I know
you wouldn't know
the pattern. Right.
Yeah.
Really good at pattern recognition. So I know the pattern.
Well, but in that case, you got to be thankful that the government did not pass that brown, orange, red legislation on traffic infrastructure.
Yeah, God, please tell me that's not a real thing. I would lose my license in a heartbeat.
This is gonna screw over one guy in Jersey.
Yeah, no. Let me tell you, I'll fake it till I make it. You ain't taking my license away, so you can suck a big old dick. I don't care. I'll still drive. No license and everything.
But what is the color of that dick, sir?
It could be anything.
Could be anything. I'm seeing the hints of orange, but it could be brown. I don't know.
It's probably red. I'm seeing brown, but it could be orange. I don't fucking know.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, like, it makes, like, buying clothes or putting together outfits what I have to do. Like, I always have somebody. So this is a little secret into my personal life. Whenever I go out, if I'm going out somewhere and I'm dressed to look nice, I have somebody, at least 2 people, QC my clothes.
Okay.
Just to make sure that it matches. Or that it at the very least, so that it goes together. Because I'm not going to wear... I've done it before where I think I'm wearing black pants. I'm really wearing navy blue pants. And navy blue pants with a purple shirt and a pink tie makes me look terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not having that happen. I don't go out with the intention of looking like a fucking idiot.
For basic coordination's sake, as opposed to like, oh, it's like, no, this will make you look great in the evening, honey.
Yeah, no. If I'm trying to look like a Dominican, I'll just wear whatever the fuck I want with no socks. That's just.
I'll break out the wooden shoes too, just for the occasion.
But if I just want my outfit to, if I want to look like I'm somewhat kept together and you know my outfit is all right, I gotta have people help me. I mean, my mother set my clothes out until I got into high school because I couldn't
mix and match.
I couldn't mix and match. I couldn't dress myself. You know, I wear blue jeans every day because
you dress yourself, but you're like you don't trust what you're putting on.
I dressed myself, but I had someone else pick my fucking outfits.
You couldn't trust what you were putting on would blend or
right. It wouldn't match. It wouldn't go. It looks stupid. Like I've done it going to the gym. You know, like I think the shorts that I'm wearing are red. They're actually fucking orange,
But it's a gym, so it's like, are the stakes really that high in the gym?
Stakes are not that high in the gym.
No dude benching 500 is going to come over and be like, you're wearing orange shorts, fool.
Bro. No, bruh, this is how it goes.
Bro, you're wearing orange shorts.
Bro, your shorts don't match, bro. What the fuck, man?
Fuck.
That's not how.
You and me, pull-ups now.
Fuck pull-ups.
Oh, I hit a sore spot all of a sudden. Fuck the pull-ups, man. What the shit? No.
Pull-ups are the bane of my existence because when we had to do that presidential fitness thing in school, I could never do the pull-ups. And the one...
Yeah.
So my junior... No, it wasn't my junior year because I broke my ankle. So it was my sophomore year. Because the summer between my sophomore and junior year, I broke my ankle and I gained like 40 pounds because I was in a wheelchair for a while. And
In traction, essentially.
And then I was in an air cast.
Yeah.
So I was off of my ankle, not allowed to walk on it at all for 7 months.
Okay.
You know, and I'm a little pissed about that because there was no physical therapy at all. It was just like, okay, you can walk again. And so I'm just fucking hobbling and limping around. But in any case, the summer between my sophomore and my junior year is when I got injured. So it had to be my sophomore year of high school. I was pretty lean. Probably the best shape I had ever been in up to that point. Because I was always a fat little shit. And I could never do the pull-ups. And I could never, stretch as fucking far. I mean...
Right. Well, no, I mean, here's this, like...
I could always do the amount of push-ups. Because that's explosive,
Yeah,
pushing away.
You just get it done in like that burst, and you're fine.
I could always do the
always been
push-ups, but
easy.
the pull-ups I could never do because that was a body weight. That's 100% body weight.
You're pulling against yourself.
You're pulling
essentially.
up 100% of your body weight. The push-ups, I forget what it is, but I think push-ups. When you're doing a push-up, you're only pushing up whatever it is,
and
55% of your own body weight.
You're dispersing to like the balance as well, because it's a little bit here, but then also down in your legs as well.
Right.
Whereas with pull-ups,
and
it's all on the arms, and
it's all arms and back. Right. So I could never do those because I was always fatter than I was strong. But I was fucking fit. But between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, I didn't grow any taller, but I leaned out some, and I was fucking feeling good and looking good and gymming, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get all the bitches, I'm gonna get this presidential thing, and that was my big thing, was I couldn't wait for them to do the presidential.
You were shooting for that.
I could not wait for that presidential fitness fucking thing, whatever it was called. I don't know, I'm sure Schwarzenegger had something to do with it. But
time to kick some ice.
But
that's what it was, the award.
I remember they called my name to do the pull-ups, and for the first time in my life, I was confident that I could do, because I had been doing them.
Yeah.
I'd been doing them all summer at the gym, and I was fit. And it had to be a pull-up, couldn't be a chin-up. Chin-up, you use the supinated grip, what they call a supinated grip, which is where your hands, your palms are facing you.
Yeah.
For the microphone, nobody can see what I'm doing. The palms are facing you for the supinated grip on the
you're flexing bicep, but
right, right. So you're doing a chin up this way. They needed you to do a pull up. Now, I'm a wide guy. I've always been wide, so I can't do a pull up from here because I can't pull my elbows back to get myself over. At that point, I'm doing a row.
No, that's row.
I had to
you had to displace it further out.
As wide as I could so that I could actually get my elbows down.
Yeah.
Right? But even still, with my elbows down here, this is my full range of motion. It comes to here. My chin doesn't go... I can't get my arms lower than my chin.
And there's no sneaking over. It's like, it doesn't count. It's like there's no sneaking over.
There's no sneaking over. What they were counting was chin over the bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's a chin-up. That's not a pull-up. Okay, a pull-up is a range of motion for the back and the lats. A chin-up is just that. You're just pulling your chin over the bar. However you can get your chin over the bar, that's how you fucking do it.
If it's the under end or whatever, it's like, right. That's how you do it.
So, doing the pull-ups, and I know fitness. I have experience in the fitness industry. I know fitness. I know what exercises. I know range of motions. I know how to do things properly. And I'm doing the chin-ups through a full range of motion. Not even like halfway up. I'm a full range of motion. Dead hang pull-ups.
Yep.
And I did 12 dead hang pull-ups. And the gym teacher looks at me and he goes, you haven't done one pull-up yet. I let go of the pull-up bar and I looked at him and I went, fuck you, I did 12. I got suspended for that. However...
Just for saying...
No, for saying fuck you to the gym teacher.
Mm-hmm.
This particular gym teacher and I had it out several times.
Right. I was about to ask, was there already some
there was an ongoing... And then I left...
Tell me about your childhood, man.
This was the same gym teacher who used to, in middle school, he would make fun of me for being fat. And he would make fun of me in front of the other kids for being fat.
Fuck teachers like that, man.
Exactly. And then so I was like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I was in 8th grade, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care what he says because I'm going to be in high school next year. And fuck
Right.
him. He's going to be back here in middle school. The motherfucker transferred to high school. And freshman year...
He sensed the challenge would be leaving him, so he sought it out.
Freshman year...
Jesus.
Freshman year... Now, I always took weight room as a gym activity. Partially because I was an athlete. So it was required that you did weight room as a gym activity.
Right.
So that they could monitor... Because it... So...
They had to keep track.
At South Plainfield High School, it was required... If you were an athlete, if you were a part of any sports team, you had to spend X amount of hours in the gym every week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it was I think it was 4 hours, and they wanted you to spread those 4 hours out over like 5 days or 6 days, whatever it was.
Okay.
It was a ridiculously small because our gym periods.
You could probably crank out more than that.
Well, our gym periods were only 20 minutes. So,
really? Gym
yeah.
period was only 20 minutes?
Gym period, yeah. Gym was all of our classes were only 20 minutes long.
Huh. Lucky duck.
So...
Sorry.
What did you have? Block scheduling?
It was block scheduling, yeah.
Yeah. See, I like block scheduling. I hated the way... How many classes did you have in a day?
Classes... I'm trying to remember, like... It depends. What year were you kind of projecting this on? Like sophomore, junior, what?
High school.
High school. Just high school in general?
High school in general. Because our high school schedule was the same for me all 4 years.
I had about... Well, if it was block scheduling...
And what time did you start and what time did your day finish?
I started around like 9 o'clock and my day finished around like, say, 3:30.
Wow.
Or so. And then, but I mean, I had extracurriculars after, of course, but...
After 3:30.
After 3:30. But those were only about for like an hour and a half. But like my schedule would be like, yeah, here block would be my first period and second period would be like, say, trig and English lit or something, and then third period. The thing is though, to factor it in here, and this is going to completely skew the conversation. I did all my gym stuff during the summer because I had the free time anyway. So I was like, you know what, I want to open up for other classes, so I might as well just do the gym PE stuff during the summer. So I had dedicated like hours for that, certainly, but they were about like, it was about 5-6 hour block of PE every day.
We had in South Plainfield High School, you had the same classes.
But I mean, I still went to like the weight room and stuff like that.
But
I had like study hall and
block
things like that.
scheduling. You would have a set of classes for a particular amount of time.
Yeah.
And then you would switch to another set of classes
Yep.
for a particular amount of time.
Yep.
In South Plainfield, you had the same classes all year long.
Huh. Okay.
All year long. So first period, second period, third period, 4-5, period 6, 7-8, period 9, and then period 10.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 classes, right? And school started, homeroom. You were to be in homeroom, in your seat, ready to roll for 8:15. Okay. End of day, bell rings, and you can get the fuck out or do whatever you want because school's over. 2:20.
2:20. Wow.
So we had 8 classes between 8:15 in the morning, and your home. By the way, your homeroom is not where your first class is.
No.
That's just your fucking homeroom to make sure that you're in school on time.
We never had the homeroom set up.
So
it was
your
just like it was nebulous.
Homeroom, you're there for 8:15. Your first class starts at 8:18.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 minutes to get from your homeroom to your first class.
How big is the school?
Not very.
Okay.
It's plenty of time.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
As long as you don't have to go to your locker, it's plenty of fucking time. But I'm saying 3 minutes between each class is dedicated for locker time and travel time. So 8:15 to 2:20. Well, 8:15 to 12:15 is 4 hours. And then to 2:15 is 2 hours more.
Right. Not
So
factoring in something like lunch or anything like that.
Lunch is a period. Lunch is included.
Okay.
So you have 8:15 to 12:15, which is 4 hours, to 2:15 is 6 hours, and then so 6 hours and 5 minutes is your school day at South Plainfield High School. You have eight periods, right? With 3 minutes between each period dedicated to travel time. So that's 24 minutes. So now take 24 minutes off of that. You're under 6 hours for a school day. Okay? What are you at? Like 5.5? 5 hours and 30 minutes for a fucking school day to go through. Let's say you start, I'll run through my senior year. My first period was,
See, here's the thing. You can recall your high school periods like verbatim probably. You realize how many years of separation it's been between me and 2001. So it's
Right.
like, yeah. I'm
just
struggling
saying,
to remember like
so-
exactly what I had. So
period 1 was algebra 3 trigonometry. Period 2 was English 3. Period 3 was history. I had a fourth period, which I don't remember what class it was. It might have been my elective. It might have been computer science, my elective. And then I had a 5-6, which is when they run fifth period and sixth period together.
yeah.
Because period 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 were all short. So they would either run a 4-5 and give you 6 period lunch and then a period 7-8, or they would run you a fourth period, give you a 5-6 and a 7-8 with a ninth period lunch. You know, there was some combination of 4-5, 5-6, or
Right.
7-8, something like that. So you're looking at, so if you just take lunch fucking out of the equation, take lunch and gym the fuck out, right? So now you're down to 6 classes that you take for the whole year.
That's the thing too. Is like, yeah,
They're
these didn't extend to the whole year. It was like
Exactly.
some you could branch out into something else like calculus 2 or whatever.
So
but
they were all like 22 minutes long. How the fuck much can you actually retain in 22 fucking minutes?
yeah, that's weird that they would. I mean, it makes sense though.
Like,
I mean, it
when
would
I
make
was-
sense why they extended to the whole year if all you're given is 22 minutes of.
So, right, but
Retention.
I actually, when I was in high school, I had a friend who had just graduated high school who ran for the Board of Ed, and he was elected to the Board of Ed, and so I had written him on numerous occasions to change South Plainfield to block scheduling, and every time they put it to a vote, it was shot down.
I wonder why.
And I couldn't understand it because it didn't make any fucking sense to me. Like,
yeah.
I'm sitting here for 25 minutes. I'm not learning a fucking thing because 10 minutes of the fucking class is spent with a teacher yelling at this fucking student for doing
Right,
this
yeah.
or that fucking student
You
for
get
doing
derailed
that.
easily.
We're not getting anything done. And then, of course, the other fucking 10 or 12 minutes of class is fucking like SAT prep or some kind of standardized test prep that they're required to do now every fucking day.
Did they still have proficiencies when you were in high school?
Yeah.
You still did the proficiencies?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were they fucking called? The
I just knew them as the proficiencies.
they were called like the MChats or something like that.
I did the
or
proficiencies.
The CAT tests.
I did it. I ended up doing the SATs one round and then opted out. But yeah, like at that point though, I was like on the cusp of it. Like during that year, my senior year, they were like, we don't know if we're gonna continue this. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah, no, they were still doing it when I was in high school, and it pissed me off because they would.
That whenever they dedicate time to that, I was like, this feels like kind of a waste, honestly.
You should never, and this is the biggest motherfucker. If you're gonna,
Here we go.
This dude's gonna
Here we
be
go.
so mad, right? You're gonna say that teachers need to be held accountable for their students and their performance and whatever. Okay, so if you're teaching your children from the fucking curriculum that you're supposed to be teaching them from, they should have no fucking problem passing a standardized test from that fucking curriculum without a direct fucking review or a direct fucking class dedicated to that fucking test.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
No.
That skews fucking everything. Okay? So if you want to teach me, if we're studying fucking Hamlet, okay? Whoa, we're studying Shakespeare, all right? And you tell me that at the end of our study of Shakespeare, and we'll pick five of Shakespeare's most popular works, whatever they fucking may be. I think I can only name 3, but whatever.
You want me to name 5? I'll name 5 for you.
I mean, I know there was Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, Romeo
and there was
A
Midsummer Night's Dream, which is my fucking favorite. Othello.
Hamlet, Othello.
King
Richard,
something.
Richard the Third.
Richard the Third.
Let's go with Richard the Third.
Okay, so
there we go. We got 5.
We've got 5, right? So you're told as a professor, we'll call you a professor because you're Mike the Professor. So you're told as a professor that you're gonna have me as your student for 16 weeks or whatever the fucking case may be, however long it is, right?
Regardless, yeah.
Regardless,
the whole end game is gearing towards...
Right. We'll call it 16 weeks. So you're going to have me for 16 weeks. And you teach me about these 5 plays, and then I'm going to have an exam on Shakespeare. And they also say to you, here's a copy of what the exam is going to be. You know, just make sure that this exam is okay.
Right.
So you turn around and you take that fucking exam and you Cliff Notes version everything to me and say, these are all the things that you need to know. So just make sure that you know these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get 100 on that test, guess what? You get your fucking tenure as a teacher.
Yep.
Because all
it's
of your
to cover
students
my
passed
ass
the
more
test.
than it is about
Exactly.
More than you retaining the knowledge.
It's about funneling sheep through the fucking system.
Yep.
And moving cattle into the slaughterhouse than it is about actual teachers doing actual teaching or actual students doing actual fucking learning.
Well, honestly, thankfully, that's what I do remember a little bit about the system at the time was the fact that when we did have the block system in place, it wasn't so much about okay, you've got this limited amount of time with us, just try to cram as much in as you can. And it was more about if this is something that interests you, if this is something that you feel will get started with rudimentary geometry
It's
1 or
rudimentary
something.
you're watching.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Certainly. I'll play a violin for you. But
I'll play a really tiny violin for you.
But say for example, I took Geometry 1 or something. First block.
Sorry, I just looked at. You have the Ninja Turtle van up there, and it actually says "Heroes in a Half Shell" on the back of it.
This is the.
That's the original from the cartoon.
Original cartoon.
Do you have the blimp? A friend of mine used to have the blimp, and I was very jealous.
It's in my basement back in Ohio. So
that's
I'm sure.
awesome, dude. I tried to steal it.
No. This is all. This here. Let me lift the lid for you. This is all the DVDs of the original series. Your eyes just went wide. Either with
I'm telling you, you've got gold. I thought that was the van, the toy van.
I've got the van somewhere. I'm sure. I don't remember. I lost track of it. But no, that's the original series. Well, I can't remember. 88, 87 to 96.
Who cares? It was amazing. The cartoon.
It was ridiculous, is what it was.
Do you remember the Ghostbusters cartoon?
Yeah,
they used to, Saturday morning. One used to come on. And
It has whatchamacallit? Arsenio Hall is the voice of Winston on it.
Really?
Yeah. Arsenio Hall, and the voice of Garfield was Peter Venkman.
Yeah.
But then apparently what they did was they made the Ghostbusters shitty at one point because they were like, you know what? Kids don't like the Ghostbusters. You know who they really like? Slimer. So they made it Slimer and the Ghostbusters or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they for some reason they decided to replace Arsenio Hall with someone else. I guess because Arsenio Hall was really getting big or something. You know, he's finally someone noticed my Coming to America shit.
Yeah, no, he had his own talk show.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, that's probably what it was.
He was probably getting busy with his talk show, and he couldn't do the voiceover stuff.
And you know who they replaced? The guy who played Venkman, the Garfield voice. You know who they replaced him with? Dave Coulier.
No.
Yeah, Dave Coulier voiced Peter Venkman.
Fuck out of here.
His name was Joey, right? From
Joey
from Full House.
Uncle Joey.
Uncle Joey. He played Peter Venkman.
The son about to have in the world.
Jesus.
Yeah, with the woodchuck.
That was his puppet, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the woodchuck when he played Ranger Joe.
The funny part is, the only reason I remember that is because I did a podcast a couple years back with a friend of mine who dropped that reference on me, and I was like, what? I had no idea what he was talking about. He's like, you remember Uncle Joey in Full House? He used to have a puppet, and he was like,
the woodchuck.
Someone having a nuts or something. And I'd be like, what is that? And I'm like, now I get it though because of that story. But yeah, I remember the Ghostbusters. There was some quality cartoons.
Look, I grew up with the best cartoons. You grew up with good cartoons.
What were some of your quality cartoons? Like 3, if you can name 3 for yourself right now that you were like, you know what, I grew up with this, and this. Because I can give you mine 3 right now. Because you've seen, I grew up with Batman the Animated Series. I grew up with Ninja Turtles, and
I grew up with the same ones that you did.
Those ones too?
There's only 3 or 4 years between you and me.
Oh,
we watched
okay.
the same fucking cartoons.
What will be the 3rd cartoon then? So we mentioned Ninja Turtles, we mentioned Batman.
Dude, there was fucking a ton of them. There was the Batman animated series, there was Ninja Turtles, there was Ghostbusters.
There
was
the other one.
Gargoyles. Do you remember Gargoyles?
Here's the thing, I never got into Gargoyles until later on. When I was aware of it, but I was kind of like, oh, okay, Disney wants to do a Batman thing. Okay, cool. I didn't get into it until I saw it a little bit later. I'm like, this is a quality show. This is actually pretty cool.
It was a really cool show.
Darkwing Duck, that was my deal.
Darkwing
Duck was my shit.
Fuck yeah,
I love
bro.
Darkwing Duck.
Dude.
I was just like...
I'm just trying to think, like, legit right now, I'm just trying to think of the...
This podcast is totally called Tangent City now, because we just went from periods in high school to...
all the action... Dude, I'm trying to think of all the action figures that I have at home.
Oh,
all of my action figures were from television series.
My action figures are in a shed somewhere. Like, yeah.
No, I still have them all. They're still taking up space that I could be.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole deal. I still got mine, but they're like in a box somewhere in Ohio, like buried under like tons of crap.
I know right where mine are. I could drive to my house and get them. I have like
bring them on over. We'll play
it.
You see me. You see my stuff. We'll have Spawn interact with
I have like
whatever you got.
I have like 4
Optimus Prime.
I mean, dude, the X-Men cartoon.
Oh shit! Why did I leave that?
The X-Men cartoon series was fucking awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Wolverine, who did his voice. Yeah, dude, that used to be my ringtone for the longest time. But the what do you call it? Wolverine, whoever did his voice.
He was tight.
Let's cut these sardines out of the can.
He's like, all right, you glance of the gutter trash, whatever. He got rough and tumble. I love that shit.
Beast,
the only part
Beast and Gambit were always my favorite.
Yeah, Beast was always fun because he was eloquent and well put together, but he could smash robots.
Smart as fuck and super strong.
Gambit don't need a deal. These cards for you,
Exactly.
Or not essay.
You just turned Gambit into a cholo.
I turned a Cajun into a gangbanger.
You turned him into a cholo.
Mon ami. Sorry. The only part of that cartoon the cartoon I never got into, Jubilee. I hated that they always forced her into plots and tried to make her like more important than... I'm like, she's the whiny... I know why they did it, because the executives were probably like, kids won't like this unless we have a kid in it. And I'm like, no, that's not it.
No, it's animated. It's made for kids.
I don't watch Batman for Robin. I watch Batman for Batman.
Only priests watch Batman for Robin. No, fuck that. Jubilee.
Tell me your sins, good chum. Oh, sorry, that's Adam West. Poor Adam West. I'm gonna leave him out of it.
He did he was in. He used to do westerns. He was in a couple episodes.
Oh yeah,
he was in a couple episodes of Laramie.
Oh yeah,
an old western from back in the day.
Nice.
With what the fuck was his name? The guy who played Jess Harper. He was in a show called Emergency.
If you're looking for some Adam West stuff.
No one's ever looking for Adam West stuff.
It sounds
that
like
was the worst Adam West ever.
Oh well, sorry.
That's much better than mine.
There's this...
When I get you beat on a Peter Griffin.
Oh, a shouting match. Well, 2 can play at that game. I'm winning. That's all I remember from Family Guy. Adam West is like he got in a shouting match with somebody. But no, he did a pilot for Conan O'Brien. Conan produced this show that Adam West starred in like the mid-late 90s. It was called Look Well. And basically it was like that show Castle?
Yeah.
It was basically that.
I actually really like that show.
Except intentionally funny. So basically Adam West played this guy who was called in on cases even though he's just an actor who played a guy on TV who was called in on cases. Oh. And he ended up. It was just one episode, of course, but like he's really good in it, though. So you might like it.
So, have you seen the show Castle?
Yeah,
you've seen the show.
I've seen parts of it. I mean,
you know the premise behind the show.
Yeah, he's like a mystery writer, right? And
yeah,
he gets called in as a consultant.
He's a murdery mystery writer. Yeah.
They're not doing it anymore, though, right? It's done.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Speaking of that type of movie, no.
Tangent City.
Tangent City, bro. A whole fucking kingdom of tangents, I told you.
Yeah, you were right. We've gotten political. We talked about Daredevil for a bit.
We can fucking talk
about
everything. High school. Man, we'll just go there. Right now, I would like to bring up a movie called The Raven. Have you seen it? With John Cusack, plays Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, it's a mystery slasher movie or whatever?
Yeah, there's like a series of murders that
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Really good movie, man. Check it out. I enjoyed it thoroughly because I enjoy Edgar Allan Poe. He's very dark and he's very...
Spoiler alert here, though. I've heard that ultimately the reveal is the killer in it is just a guy.
What do you mean?
Like, it's just a guy... They happen to find it. Like, it's not a big reveal.
Just the guy.
It's not like someone who's been with you through the narrative from minute one. It's just the guy. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, continue with the Raven.
If I remember right, and I might be misremembering, I might be thinking about another movie, but I thought that they tied him into like. I thought they tied it into where they thought it was Jack the Ripper in America. But I could be wrong. Dude, that whole Jack the Ripper thing fucking fascinates me. And I used to spend hours and hours and hours reading about the whole thing and thinking that I was going to find the magical piece of the fucking puzzle from hell.
Yeah, what'd you think of that movie?
Great fucking movie. Yeah. Love that fucking movie.
There is actually
with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Great fucking movie, bro. One of his lesser known.
With Hagrid from Harry Potter playing an actual serious role for once.
Hagrid from Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry. That guy.
Yeah, I've never seen.
He basically plays the guy who's like, shame on you, Johnny Depp, for always smoking the hookah. What's her name? Heather Graham is in it?
Oh, God.
Playing a redhead Irish woman.
Oh.
Not doing great on the accent, but
who cares?
Pulls off the redhead.
She could Irish never speak and be smoking hot and be worth watching on screen. It's television, not radio. They don't have to sound good.
That's a great defense for it.
They don't have to sound good. They just gotta look good.
It's television. It's not radio. Come on, man.
Yeah, no. She could sound like a 75...
The camera sells so much more than the sound.
Yeah, no, she could sound like a 75-year-old female fucking trucker who smoked 3 packs a day and drank 3 bottles of whiskey.
Which I would say would make the movie all the more entertaining.
No, yeah, it would. She could sound like this all the time.
We gotta stop the
I don't care. Could you imagine Heather Graham sounding like this all day?
He's killing hookers in the East End. We gotta stop him. You can't see it on the podcast, of course, but I'm constantly pulling a cigarette from my mouth every time I do it.
It's okay because we both sound like we're from New York, and yet that's fucking Whitechapel.
It sounds like Harvey Fire. You were mentioning Independence Day. It sounds like Harvey Firestein from Independence Day. I gotta tell my mother.
For $300 an hour, you can put me through to his house in the Hamptons.
I gotta call my lawyer. Oh, forget my lawyer.
Oh my God. Mom, you gotta leave the city now.
Can you believe they made a sequel to that movie? And there's no statue honoring Harvey Firestein in the sequel. Because the sequel's like 20 years later, we've used the alien technology to advance our culture, and we commemorate this day as our true Independence Day. But there's no statues in honor of.
Can I swipe another one?
Go for it. There's no statues in honor of Harvey Firestein.
No, they need to make a statue in honor of David's father. He was my favorite character.
He's still alive. They don't need to make a statue.
They should. Rocky was still alive, but they made a statue for him. Your logic makes no sense.
But all Judd Hirsch did was all he did was like, oh well, I got to be verklempt. Like he was just like, I'm a typical Jewish father here.
So tell my David to shut up. You'd all be dead right now if it wasn't for my David.
Holy shit, dude. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Amazing.
Why don't they have a statue dedicated to the sniveling Secretary of Defense?
Fuck him, because he should have been the first one.
Well, no, because here's the deal. That actor is legitimately dead, and you think
He's not dead.
Oh, no, dude, that actor's dead.
Really?
Yeah. Dead.
Mr. President. He sounded like
that's not entirely accurate.
He sounded like an old version of Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Wow.
Wow. Where'd you learn to fight like that? You sure can fight. Chaw, 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 chaw.
I do remember the one part where it's like the spaceship's over Area 51 and like Jeff Goldblum.
I'm not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish.
Nobody's perfect. Sit down.
Nobody's perfect. Oh God, man. That movie is retarded as hell, but I love it. It is. I went and saw it.
Great for what it is.
I saw it twice in the theaters, at least when it came out, because I was like, at first I was like, the special effects are amazing, and then the second time I'm like, the acting is terrible, and I love it.
Mr. President, where do you think you're going?
Oh, dude. Oh,
I'm a combat pilot. Eh?
Robert Loggia, right? Yeah.
I belong in the air.
I'm a combat pilot, right?
Yeah, Robert Loggia.
Dude, here's the saddest part. In the sequel, because I saw the sequel. I saw Independence Day Regurgitation or whatever it's called.
Regurgitation.
Here's the thing. I made a video saying like, okay, this is on my worst stuff. This is definitely on my worst, because it didn't have the same like fun cheese factor that the first one did.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of lame. I'm like, you just wanted to capitalize on the name of the brand. And it didn't pay off because this is dumb. This is just stupid. It's lame.
Well, they brought back everybody except for Will Smith.
Yeah, too, and that was a big thing for me too. It's like Will Smith. He's a portrait.
Will Smith
died in the story. Like Will Smith is dead.
He died. Yeah,
and his son
is a fucking fighter pilot.
Oh yeah, and his son is uncharismatic as shit. Like there is no Will Smithiness about this character at all. It's like you can't believe. I don't believe that this kid is actually the son of whatever his name was in the first movie. But
Derek?
I can't remember.
No, Derek was the son's name in the first movie.
But we're talking about Robert Loggia though.
Captain Hillard.
We're talking about, Mr. President. Yeah. I'm so sad about this because they do a whole speech because they're celebrating the anniversary and shit. And what's his name? Bill Pullman, the president. He's been driven crazy over the past 20 years by mind melding or whatever with the aliens. So he's like this crazy old dude with a beard. And so he comes out to give a couple of words impromptu.
And he ends up sounding like Randy Quaid.
A little bit. He does, a little bit. But no, here's the sad part.
I've been saying it, Miguel. And I've been saying it 10 damn years. I've been saying it.
They do any sexual things to you.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. President.
All right,
you alien assholes. It's time for some payback.
He's like, in the words of my generation, up yours.
Yeah, that is his generation too.
But no, here's the thing. Robert Loggia is in the movie.
Robert Loggia.
For 30 seconds though, and he's on his deathbed in the movie, like in real life.
The former Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. Because Bill Pullman comes up to the podium, turns around, and happens to look at the dais, the people who are sitting behind him. And Robert Loggia, the actual actor, is there, and he's like this. He's like sitting in his chair like he's had 7 strokes.
Holy
and
shit.
Wouldn't you know it, he died right after shooting that scene. Like, while the movie was like in post-production, the actual actor died. Robert Loggia died.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's just so heartbreaking for me to be like, to see that guy up there be like, give a thumbs up. I'm like, was this sequel really necessary to just remind me that all of my favorite actors are old and or dead? I don't know.
They would never have allowed the President of the United States, especially after the Vice President had been fucking taken out.
We never saw the Vice President, though. We don't give a shit about him.
No, but I'm saying the when they sent the VP and
the Joint Chiefs and the
and
VP
the Joint
are all
Chiefs and
dead,
everybody,
yeah.
they went to NORAD. They were all taken out.
Yeah, NORAD was first to go.
Yeah. So they would never allow the president, especially after all that, to just get in a jet, which a combat pilot
Oh,
from
yeah.
Vietnam, great. That was,
Oh no, it wasn't even Vietnam. It was the Gulf War.
Oh, it was the Gulf
Yeah, it was
War?
the Gulf War. Like no,
Oh no, that's right. Randy was
Randy was the
Quaid
Vietnam
was the
pilot.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Flew
And then he's crop
Vietnam
dusted.
and been crop dusting ever since.
And his son kind of looks like Keanu Reeves, but isn't.
But he tries to be. Where are you going?
Whoa,
Miguel.
Dad! Don't do it, Dad!
No, Dad. Where's my dad? Oh.
Your father was
Your father was very brave.
I know.
I know. He knows. So
Hey,
much.
10, brah. Hey, another quick break here from Mike McG. I hope you're enjoying Tangent City episode 1 so far. I changed my mind. I figured let's keep this as one solid chunk of conversation. But while Matt and I kind of catch our breath and take a break a little bit, let me just remind you to hit that like button, comment below. Let me and Matt know if there's a particular topic you'd want us to discuss on a future episode of Tangent City. Subscribe, please subscribe. Not to sound desperate or anything, but yeah, making money off this site would help if you subscribe a little bit. And while you're at it, you might as well go like, comment, and subscribe to all my affiliates over in the sidebar on my main site, youtube.com/MikeMcGTV. Go check out some content from The Three Geeks, from Neverending Radical Dude, from Mercer Morrison, from That Movie Chick, from Arc Matter. All great people, all great content. Check it all out. Support all of us in these dire YouTube times. That's all I gotta say. Back to a little bit of Tangent City with myself and Matt.
Oh, there is no character.
I liked him when he was the whimsical fucking drunken pirate.
Wait, there's character development? I thought that's what he stayed as.
No.
I thought that
Watch the first 3 in succession, and you can see he gets more and more grounded as he goes.
Yeah, I mean, like he values friendship or whatever the fuck, but
Even the way he moves and his mannerisms are not as whimsical as they were in the first one.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me angry, because that's what I loved about that character.
Well-
is you never knew what he was gonna, like, even in the first one when he was running like an old cartoon character with his hands out in front of him.
Mhm.
And then you watch when he's running, when he becomes king of that fucking tribe and they want to eat him.
he's aware of
and he's running away. He's moving his fucking arms. He's not as animated as he was in the first one. And
Yeah.
that animation, that live action animation, is what made Jack Sparrow the lovable, comical, whimsical character that he was.
Here was the deal, here's what I personally feel is because the first Pirates comes out, which by the way I own. That's the only Pirates movie I own because I feel it is
It's the
always
best
worth
one.
revisiting. It is the fun one for me.
It's the only one that I watch over and over and over and over and over.
And yeah,
again.
it is part of that. It's like that is a genuine. You believe that is a genuine 3-dimensional character in that movie. But the problem is, and it's the same thing I feel about Heath Ledger's Joker, is that it became so quippable. It became so pop culturally like, oh, everyone's got a Jack Sparrow, everyone's got a Heath Ledger's Joker, that if they were to repeat it, it's only going to come off as being like, oh, well, he's going through the motions of what we're expecting of a Jack Sparrow character.
That's what
the only
that's-
thing Heath Ledger's Joker is like Heath Ledger died, so that's
Right, so-
all you get of the Joker essentially. But
that's exactly how I feel about about Jack Sparrow. is the first one. It felt like he was a genuinely whimsical dude. He was just fucking loony. He was just a loon fucking pirate who thought he was the cat's pajamas, and he wasn't. He was a wonderful, terrible pirate. And in the movies that followed, it seemed more and more as if he was just going through the motions of trying to be that whimsical guy.
Well, here's the thing,
It didn't
too.
seem as genuine.
That lines up pretty well with Johnny Depp's timeline, too, because Johnny Depp at that point was just like, I just need money. He's like, Johnny Depp's like, how much am I doing this for the actual art, and how much am I doing this just because I need the paycheck? Because, you have to agree that there's a certain point where it's like, why else would he do something like, say, the Alice in Wonderland shit, where he plays Mad Hatter, which it's like, it's every quirky Johnny Depp character rolled into one. It's like...
Because Johnny Depp has built a career on playing quirky fucking people.
But there's nothing that screams like it had to be him, other than the fact that, like, you need a name to bring in people into the theater.
No.
And
Johnny Depp's built a career on playing quirky fucking weirdos.
yeah,
Okay.
honestly,
In what movie has Johnny Depp, I'm going to ask you this, in what movie has Johnny Depp played we'll call it stereotypical Hollywood leading man love interest? In what movie? Because in Eating Gilbert Grape, he was a fucked up older brother of an autistic fucking kid, right?
yeah.
And he was a fucked up dude. In Edward Scissorhands, he was a fucked up dude. In Crybaby, he was a fucked up dude.
I guess you're right. No,
He's built a
I
career.
can't recall. Like,
He's built a career on playing a fucked up dude in one form or another. So when you have a character like the Mad Hatter, as far as I'm concerned, if you're not going to get Martin Short, you get Johnny Depp. Like, that's... Martin
that is
Short.
true. I was thinking like Martin Short
would be a
Hatter.
perfect fucking Mad Hatter because he looks like the old cartoon from the movie.
The Edwin, like, oh my goodness.
Exactly. And that is not how I picture Johnny Depp, but if you're even in The Secret Window he was fucked up and crazy.
Oh my god, I'm seriously like, there was a drama. Like when he does like serious drama and shit like that. He's able to Finding Neverland, for example.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's actually, he's really down to earth, and that's the thing is like I love it when actors. Here's the deal. I know
go out of their typecasting.
Yeah, Johnny can do quirky. Don't believe me. I love it when he does quirky really well. Like Ed Wood is really great. I really love Ed Wood because, granted, maybe that's not really how Ed Wood is, but Johnny inhabits that persona so well. But, like, when they really challenge themselves to play down to earth. And I'm not saying he's going to be, like, it's leading man or romantic lead type stuff, but Finding Neverland, for example. Or Blow. Blow, where he's just playing this drug dealer. You know, there's nothing really eccentric about the dude, other than he's scuzzy. It's like, okay, fine. But, you know, like, we got scuzzy leads all over the place, too. Like,
yeah,
that's fine. But, like...
So there was only a couple of movies.
I
Because
think
even when he did the Rum Diaries, he was really fucked up.
when it came to that movie, like he was just kind of spiritually continuing what he'd started with, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Was just this guy who's so fucking strung out.
Yeah, exactly. But
But I wouldn't call that quirky. I'd call that's demented.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Not necessarily quirky, but he's made a career on playing people who are fucked up in some kind of way. You know, he never plays just the regular guy. Like,
I get that too, because it's like regular
Like
guy's boring. It's
Like-
yeah, there's no challenge there as an actor, probably.
it's more of a challenge, I think. And I'm not an actor, so maybe I'm skewed.
You know
But
what?
I
There
feel
was
like
Nick of Time. He was just straight up a dad who was in a dire strait. It was like a mid-90s movie. And it was put in a very intense situation. And had to fulfill that situation, otherwise a loved one would be killed or harmed in some way. And he was desperate, but at no point. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but at no point did I feel like, oh, he's really like chewing scenery for this. Like, no, it just felt like a straight ahead. Like, this is the lead you're following, pretty much. Like a very typical lead.
I'll have to. You're gonna have to make me a list of some of his, or maybe I'll make my own list. I've seen a lot of movies. Obviously, haven't seen them all, and I could never claim to have seen all of Johnny Depp's movies.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the majority of his movies, he plays a dude that's fucked up in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as a director or a casting director goes, I mean, if you want someone who can be two people in one character, you know, an average Joe psycho, it's Johnny Depp. It's always going to be Johnny Depp.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you have to cast his movie wife. I forget her fucking name.
His movie wife?
Yeah, she's in every one of his fucking movies.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, I was like, wait a
Carter.
minute.
I call her his on-screen wife or his movie wife because she's in all of his fucking
Well,
movies.
that was like that was the Burton triumvirate for many years. It was you had to have Tim Burton, you have to have Johnny Depp, and you have to have Helena Bonham Carter because Helena Bonham Carter is Tim Burton's partner at the time. Like they were romantically involved.
Oh, well,
so
that's why.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she's a great actress.
She is. She's amazing.
Here's the deal. I've seen more range from her than I have from Johnny Depp recently.
At least she used to be pretty smoking. Like I always thought she was hot in sort of crazy way, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, as she's done some stuff like, you know, she's gotten older. Like her and Johnny Depp are at least in like Johnny Depp's like in his 50s now, right?
Really?
Yeah, Johnny Depp's like 50, I think, and Helena Bonham Carter is at least around that ballpark. So, yeah,
I don't know. I would still rail away at her for sure. Like, I would still give it a good D.
But I mean, like she's a thespian. Like she's done. Like she did the King.
Thespian.
She did the King's Speech with Colin Firth. Like she was Queen. God, I can't remember.
Queen motherfuck, who cares?
Yeah, but she was the queen to Colin Firth's king, and she played that very straight. It was very subdued. It wasn't like her typical like I'm Helena Bonham Carter and I'm quirky, you know, that type of shit. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Like she wasn't Beetlejuice, but you know what I mean.
She
like,
wasn't in Beetlejuice either.
No, she wasn't.
I was gonna say,
I don't know why. Well, because Tim Burton, so that's why.
Yeah, because
every time you see her in a Tim Burton
that's
movie,
a new hashtag. Because Tim Burton.
yeah, every time you see her in a Tim Burton movie, she's always like that crazy, wild-haired, whatever, kooky person.
Yeah, I mean, she was in Edward Scissorhands. She was in. She was in
the Harry Potter movies as a crazy person with crazy hair.
What the fuck? No, I'm talking about Johnny Depp movies. So she was in Edward Scissorhands.
Dark Shadows.
She was in Dark Shadows.
Yeah.
She was in Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. Yep.
She was in. I know they've done more than 3 movies together.
Oh yeah, they've done quite. That's why we have the phones.
The Google knows.
The Google.
So what?
She was in Les Miserables.
What
the movie
Russian
version of Les
novel?
Embracing more than 500 characters was set
during
in
the
the Napoleonic Wars.
War.
War and Peace. He's alive. Splinter's alive. That goes back to last night for those listening. We got into a dialogue off on Ninja Turtles, the original 1990 movie.
All I know, look, the most important lesson you can take from any of those movies is forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Goddamn right.
I need to get a new route. I thought I delivered everywhere.
122 and an eighth. 122 and an eighth.
Let me tell you, I find myself thinking about that quite a bit because when I do order from like Grubhub or something, and they can't find this place for some reason, it's very difficult for them because I don't know. There's so many addresses around.
No, it's because of the GPS. Because
yeah.
when I was trying to get here, the GPS told me when you come up Rock Avenue, you make the second right.
Yeah. No, I get yeah, but it's like yeah. So I'll get a call from him being like, oh, is it so and so or so and so? Just for a moment, my mind will go back to 122, 122 and an 8, 122 and an 8. I'm like, terrific. Where the hell is 122 and an 8? It's like,
You're standing on it, dude.
Like, I just want to say that at one point. Like, you're standing on it, dude. Just slip it down here.
Give me that. Hey, this is a 10.
The tab's 13. You're 2 minutes late, dude.
Oh, come on. I couldn't find the place.
Wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never oh, shit, I'm drunk. Never pay full price for late pizza. We just did that bit, but whatever. Fuck it.
No, that's okay. Who gives a shit? This is not scripted. This is the seat of your hip, the fly of your pants.
This is real, like life.
What the fuck was that from?
Oh my.
This is real, like
Okay.
life.
For those listening, Matt has never seen Chappelle's show, so
Oh no, I've never seen the Chappelle show.
never mind. That just went right over his head, but he still found it funny, so I
I'm a
appreciate
short
that.
guy. A lot of stuff goes over my head.
Let me see. She was in Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I remember her. I've got that movie actually. Fight Club, of course. I've got that movie. She played crazy. Honestly,
She plays a lot of crazy too.
she plays a lot of crazy in Fight Club. It's like, yeah.
I think, dude, I honestly think she is crazy in real life, and that's part of her sexual appeal. Look,
you're kinda
crazy
like,
is
you want to tread on the wild side with that type of person.
crazy is sexy. That's just the bottom line. Crazy is sexy. Crazy is sexier than boring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the terrible reality that we.
Alice
live
in Wonderland.
Alice in
Never mentioned,
Wonderland.
like,
Yeah,
her and Johnny
she was
Depp were in
the
that
she
together.
was
She
the
was the
queen.
I mentioned the King's Speech. Nice, nice.
Oh,
She was in the. She was in the. She was in.
Sorry.
What are you doing? What are you doing? No! Don't do that! Don't do that!
The cable guy. Cable guy.
Oh, really? The password is. I can't really. Nipple. I can't really.
I'm not playing perverted password with my parents. Oh, come on. We're all adults here.
The Lone Ranger. She did the Lone Ranger with. Johnny Depp was in that too. He played Tonto.
Oh, yeah. The Lone Ranger, that's right. With, what was that guy? Who played the lead? Who played the Lone Ranger? He's got like a
Army Hammer.
Army Hammer. He's got a rock
funny
star name.
Army Hammer was gonna be Batman at one point.
Yeah.
The best reaction.
Well,
Well,
I don't know. To me, Batman is always going to be Michael Keaton.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty hard to break away. Here's what I say. Adam West did a great Adam West playing Batman.
Adam West.
You can't argue. It's like that was just a fun character. Adam West trying to play Batman, sort of tongue in cheek.
That whole series was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cesar Romero as the Joker was perfect. I mean, he was great. The white paint in his mustache because he didn't want to shave his mustache for the role, so you could always see it was white paint.
It's more so about like all the behind the scenes stuff that you know.
Kitka, Miss Kit. What was her name? The one that played Kitka.
Well, no,
she was smoking fucking hot.
Catwoman was played by like 3 actresses.
Uh,
Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and Eartha Kitt.
Lee Merriweather, I think, was the one.
She was the one in the movie. In the movie, like the movie.
Was that the one where he uses the shark repellent?
Yes.
Yeah. Smoking.
What a perfectly wonderful idea. Like, yeah. Well,
that's where it was Catwoman and the Joker and the Riddler and
they
the
all
Penguin,
teamed
right?
up.
Burgess Meredith too with the Penguin.
Mickey. Mickey. And that's the whole deal. Is as a kid, you grow up like knowing Burgess Meredith as a Penguin, and then later on in life, I have Rocky on VHS. I watch. I'm like, that's the Penguin.
I gotta have expected. He'll knock you into tomorrow, Rock.
You got to eat lightning and crap thunder.
But he does, and even in the Rocky movies, he still walks like the Penguin.
Oh yeah, he probably just came off the set. No, it was the 60s.
He's just a shuffling old man.
He probably bored Stallone to tears with Tales from the Batman. So it's like, I told Adam West to do this
Yes,
one
but
time.
I
He's
never
like,
had no manager.
I was forced to steal a golden egg at one point in the show. I mean, tell me the logic of that.
I don't know, Mick.
My name's not Mick. Burgess.
It's like, sorry, Burgess.
That's actually a pretty good Stallone, dude.
We've talked about this. Like, my Stallone go-to is, like, just to start
Yeah,
off
but
the
that's
week.
that's the best Stallone I've ever heard you do.
Well, because I've been drinking.
Like
so.
the only Stallone I can do is from the Rockies, and it's always when he yells.
The only way you can do an accurate Sylvester Stallone is if you kind of get into the mindset of Sylvester Stallone, which is act as if you're inebriated at all times.
And having a seizure at the same time. You gotta cock your mouth to the side and shit too.
Well, here was my whole thing, is that Adam West, he was having fun. And you can see he's having fun.
The whole cast.
Yeah, the whole cast is having fun with that. So you don't hold it against him. You're like, whatever. This isn't like dark, serious Batman. I don't give a shit. They're having fun. Michael Keaton is the first one to really pull off like...
Well, and that was Tim Burton.
Yeah.
In Batman and Batman Returns.
Yeah, and he pulls off an intimidating Batman. I liked his Batman. His
You
Batman...
know what I liked is
it's
that
not- his
Michael Keaton is not a big dude. He's not a super fit dude. He's
The
not
suit
an
does the
action
work.
hero.
It's like, yeah.
He
That was the big thing.
is the regular guy who has money, but wants to do something extraordinary with his fucking life, and he does it. Like
Yeah.
Christian Bale, they show him in scenes with his fucking shirt off, and he's like ripped and fit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they show him, he wakes up in the morning, drops down, does his fucking 30,000 push-ups or whatever.
I mean, if you're looking
Like-
for what's comics accurate, that is what Batman is. Like, Batman's all about, like, I'm disciplined. Here, I'm gonna... Of course, Batman would do that. But if you're looking for something that's entertaining, is that Michael Keaton as Batman, though, here's the whole deal. It's like, everyone was pissed off. Like, hardcore DC fans or whatever were pissed off when they heard, like, Mr. Mom, Beetlejuice is gonna be Batman? Fuck that. Like, but no, he sells that, though. Like,
He did, and he did a great job.
I take his Batman way more seriously than I take Christopher Nolan's Batman. Because Christopher Nolan's Batman is overcompensating.
You're talking about the Christopher Nolan one.
Where are the drugs going? Like,
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
that voice. It's like, and you can tell it's someone forcing intimidation as opposed to someone who's just intimidating.
Yeah.
And, like, here's the deal, though. I'll give Christian Bale props. I like his Bruce Wayne. Not like, oh, I'm rich and this, because that's clearly a show.
No.
I like him just playing Bruce Wayne as Bruce Wayne, where, like, that's the most human Bruce Wayne has ever been to me. I get that.
I don't know. I thought
I like
That-
Keaton's Batman.
I
I like
thought-
Keaton's Bruce, too.
I thought Val Kilmer did a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he did.
But
He was saddled with a shitty Robin, though.
however, and listen, don't speak ill of the Boy Wonder. And when I say Boy Wonder, I don't mean Robin.
Okay.
I mean Chris O'Donnell.
Because he's had such an
an illustrious career.
He played next to Al Pacino one time, and then he became Robin. That's what I know him as. He's like, he was in Scent of a Woman, and then
He
Robin.
was in a lot of movies. He did.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he had. I'm sure he worked
He
steady.
had that one movie where he was going to inherit like millions of dollars. All he had to do was get married. So he started going to all his ex-girlfriends to see if any of them would marry him, and they were all like, "Fuck you, bro." Like, even I know you're going to make millions of dollars if we get married, but fuck you. I wouldn't marry you for.
Now here's the
millions of
logic
dollars
part of
anyway.
it. Here's the thing is, here's his selling point. It's like, don't you understand? You will also get millions of dollars.
They knew that, and they still said no. So what a
Oh.
dirtbag he must have been.
Yeah, he must have been
Um,
really unlikable. So like Robin then, essentially. Okay.
No, the only thing I didn't like about Val Kilmer as Batman was the fact that he smiled, and Batman doesn't fucking smile.
Batman doesn't smile.
Especially when he's in the fucking suit. Come on.
Here's the thing about Val Kilmer's Batman. Because here's the deal. There's points I do like his Batman. He is playing a total Bruce Wayne at times, and I like his Bruce Wayne. What I didn't like about it was honestly like, man, even though she is Nicole Kidman, in universe though, you have to kind of buy the whole like Batman's willing to give up all this for some psychiatrist who's just gonna spend the rest of their days overanalyzing his ass. It's like, okay, dude, that's all for you.
I mean,
but it is Nicole Kidman.
And if I'm being honest, that is also my favorite Nicole Kidman. I don't think she ever looked better or was more sexually appealing or physically appealing than she was.
She was just getting started too. Like
I know.
Like yeah, that was like mid-90s.
That's like my favorite Cameron Diaz is forever going to be The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
She looked the best she'd ever looked.
She wasn't trying to be funny.
She wasn't trying too hard.
I'm sorry.
She was.
I love Cameron Diaz. I quote unquote worked with Cameron Diaz at one point, but like I don't know. Like I don't like it when she tries to force comedy. She can just naturally show up in something and be appealing or alluring or funny or whatever on her own terms.
No, like I mean, after that movie, she was. And now this could be just a point of personal preference, but I don't like bony women. All right. I like a thick chick, not fat and overweight, but I like a chick
proportional.
I like a chick whose thighs can keep my ears warm, if you know what I'm saying. So Cameron Diaz in The Mask is that chick. She's beautiful. Like it's not like she has huge tits or a big fat ass like everybody wants now.
No.
She's
well balanced.
She is very well balanced and beautiful and you know
that was her first role I think.
She's not but like so from the mask to There's Something About Mary, there's a huge difference in her physique and I don't fucking like it.
Did she get really skinny for this?
She got really thinny. Really thin, and I don't think it was thinny.
She got really thinny.
Really thinny. Snarf. I don't think it was for the movie. I don't think so. I don't think she got thin for the movie. I just think it was a personal journey of her own, where she didn't like her body and she wasn't comfortable with it and she wanted to change it. And that I understand and that I respect, and it's all the more reason I love Cameron Diaz. However, if we're being completely visual in an appealing sense, in a sexual sense, The Mask, I think, was the best she's ever looked. Even in the Charlie's Angels series, she was still the thin one. In that series, but for me, Drew Barrymore is the perfect fucking woman. Hands down, in any movie at any time.
That was kind of her character too, from what I remember.
Drew Barrymore is fucking amazing. I loved her I've loved Drew Barrymore in everything she's ever done, except for Hellfire.
I've never seen Hellfire.
Not Hellfire. What was that fucking movie she did where she was the kid who could set people on fire? Was that Hellfire? Was that the name of the movie?
E.T.?
No, she was a fucking teenage girl who could set people on fire with her fucking.
Shit,
she was a telepath or something like that.
She wasn't Carrie.
No, she wasn't. God damn it! I'll find it. It was called Firestarter.
Oh, Firestarter.
I don't remember what I said it was. It was Fire something, but.
Yeah, no.
Firestarter.
I've heard of it. I've never actually seen Firestarter, but
I mean,
getting back to Charlie's Angels, though,
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying she's really young and not sexually appealing at all in that movie.
She's a good actress,
right? So
let's say face her. It's like
we're gonna work our way up. I mean, aside from Firestarter, the next really memorable movie she was in
the first Poison Ivy,
Babes in Toyland.
That had Keanu Reeves in it.
It was a TV movie. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
But
it's like, yeah.
I mean, aside from that, she was in the original Poison Ivy, which I see here in 1992.
Yeah. Well, no, she was known as kind of a wild party girl at that point, too, so it kind of fit her persona.
Right. She was in No Place to Hide with Chris Christopherson. Doppelganger. I've never seen Doppelganger. The Amy Fisher story she was in. She was in Wayne's World 2. I have to revisit that movie.
Maybe in like a walk-on. Does it say like cameo or something?
No, her name was Björgen Kjörgen.
Okay, so
She
she
must
played
have
an
been-
actual character.
She played an actual character, I guess. That must have been...
Cool.
Oh, Bad Girls, too. Oh, my God. She was so hot in Bad Girls, which was a Western. It was a Western about a bunch of chicks who had been fucking fed up with playing that, you know, I am the woman, I will cook and clean and do all this shit. They were just fucking
became
fed
like
up. They were
banditos,
outlaws.
essentially?
Yeah. Awesome movie. Smoking hot cast, too. The whole cast. Really, really good.
Who was it? What year was this?
1994.
Okay, Bad Girl.
We're looking at a lead cast of Drew Barrymore, Andy McDowell,
Oh, okay.
Mary Stuart Masterson,
Okay.
and Madeline Stowe.
I don't know who that is.
Madeline Stowe? She was, hang on.
Andy McDowell? Really?
Yeah.
In 1994?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there's
Wasn't Andy
smoking.
McDowell kind of very matronly by the late 80s?
She was, so Madeline Stowe.
I'm not taking anything away from the woman's beauty or talent, but I'm just saying it's like I remember like she was
Have
like,
you ever seen
four weddings and a funeral, Andy McDowell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Huh,
seen the movie
okay.
We Were Soldiers?
Yes.
Madeline Stowe is Mel Gibson's wife.
Oh, okay.
In that movie.
Yeah. All right, I can see that.
But yeah, they. I mean that movie I've seen a few times because it's always on TV. You know,
Right.
You get the encore westerns, and if it's not Laramie and Gunsmoke and
The Quick and the Dead.
that one is never on.
Really?
I love that movie.
I love The Quick and the Dead.
Sharon
It's
Stone is so hot. Leonardo DiCaprio is a fucking child. Russell Crowe is a great.
Is that a compliment or an
actor.
insult?
He's
Leonardo-
a child. He's like 14 in that
But it's
fucking
like,
movie.
at that point, you're like, you can't tell if that's like being a compliment or an insult. Leonardo DiCaprio, such a fucking child.
Nah, it doesn't matter. You know, I forget all the time that Drew Barrymore was in Batman Forever
Mm-hmm.
before The Mask.
Speaking of Batman, speaking of that era, yeah.
Yeah.
She was Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar.
Sugar, and I forget who was Spice. Spice was oh god, I know this. Debbie Mazar. You'd know her as like the villain from Beethoven, the movie.
Yeah.
She was the main.
She's still smoking
She
hot.
was
That
the
doesn't
main
matter
villain
to
from
me.
Beethoven, the movie, and she played the manager for the uppity pop star in Empire Records. You've never seen Empire Records, have you?
I have.
You have. Okay. Yeah, she was Rex Manning. I remember the dude's name.
I don't remember.
She was the manager who's like, I'm so sick of his shit. And she ends up going out with the guy who owns the record store.
Oh. No, Justine actually made me watch that movie. And I was like,
I like-
why?
I mean, here's a little deal. The soundtrack's great.
She loved that movie. Like, she would talk about that movie all the time. And I watched it and I was like, I mean, it's a
Here's what I liked about it.
decent movie.
Here's what I liked about it.
Empire Records is like
It's a total Gen X film. Yeah.
Empire Records is like Dazed and Confused meets Airheads.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd say that's a
that's-
fair assumption.
That's what it is. So to me, at least for movies that I like, it wasn't anything special.
No,
It's
no.
not something I would tell people and talk about like the way she did.
It is very run of the mill. It is extremely
Yeah.
run of the mill.
But you know what? It's almost
But here's
so run of the mill that it begs your attention.
But there are some highlights to it. For example, Liv Tyler, Renee Zellweger.
Love her.
Renee Zellweger back when she was
Love her.
first
You
starting.
know why else? Because the kid from fucking Dazed and Confused is the one that plays the fucking emotional motorcycle fucking I'm gonna take all the money from the fucking store guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
shit.
his name? Exactly. He played Slater in Dazed and Confused.
Why am I do this video segment called Guilty Pleasure Treasure, and he's
Ew.
well, what it is basically it's like movies that go unappreciated at the time. Like Showgirls shows up on there at one point. But like I did
Showgirls.
I have Showgirls.
Any movie that shows Tori Spelling naked is
Rory
fucking-
Cochrane, that's his name. Rory Cochrane.
Cochrane.
Yeah.
Where's he been? What's he been doing?
He does bit parts in movies now.
Wow.
That's his whole deal.
And then, of course, the occasional ED advertisement, just for money.
Maybe. I don't know.
Have you or a loved one ever had erectile dysfunction, man?
No, man. I own that shit.
I love her.
Proudly. I love Doggy Chow.
Jessica Spano was my fucking... Because I like tall chicks. I climb right up there like Donkey Kong, you know what I'm saying? So, I love tall chicks. So, she was my crush from Saved by the Bell. Everyone else was like, I love Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah, because Kelly Kapowski can do no wrong.
Fuck that.
Head of the cheerleading squad, all good, whatever.
I don't want...
The dramas with her and Zach. Fuck Zach.
Yeah, no, I don't want that I'm all good all the time. I always felt like Jessie, especially after the episode where she was... Remember the one where she got hooked on the caffeine pills? Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so
scared.
I'm so
Like,
scared.
basically, in my review of Showgirls, I basically said, like, what if Jessie basically just said, fuck it all, I'm leaving Bayside, and I'm going straight to fucking Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah, no, dude,
it's
exactly. That's the chick that I want. I don't want the straight-laced fuck. No, I want the crazy one.
She gave up on all the causes and shit. She's like, fuck it, I'm going to star in a show.
Maybe there's something to this, because I find myself analyzing myself, and I think there's
This
something
somehow ties to Showgirls.
No, it ties to my fucking shady and jaded dating history of why things have failed. Is because
you still want me to be recording this?
You can record this.
Oh,
okay.
That's
fine.
Okay.
I'm insanely attracted to fucking crazy. And that's a problem. I need to break myself of
But
this habit.
are you attracted to I will cut you for my suitcase crazy?
There's
like Nomi is.
Something alluring. There's something very mysteriously alluring about fucking a woman and wondering whether or not she's got a knife behind her back while you're fucking.
We call that the basic instinct.
And it's I mean, I don't know. I can't describe it so that anybody would understand it.
It's a danger. It's a risk.
It's danger. It's risk.
It's your fight or flight instinct taking hold and being like, I don't know if I should leave or should I stay or should I go now.
Right. Should I Kool-Aid or should I blow? I don't even know if those are the words, but I don't care.
Kool-Aid or... Yeah, you say, should I Kool-Aid or should I blow?
Yeah. Cool. Should I drink Kool-Aid or should I do cocaine? I don't even know.
I don't know why I found that funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. That's on like the top... It's like the top 30 misheard song lyrics of all time.
Oh, God, man.
So it's the same. So I'm attracted to crazy women for the same reason that I do 140 miles an hour on a motorcycle.
Right.
Is because
you tempt danger.
Can I die? Yeah, if something bad happens. But when I'm passing a buck 10, a buck 15, a buck 25, my heart is pounding so fucking fast. I don't give a shit about how dangerous it is. This is fucking fun because I am alive and I am pressing this shit as far as I can go. The same thing goes for, crazy chicks. I feel like it's like doing 140 on a fucking motorcycle. You just never know what's going to happen, but you got to push it a little more and a little more and a little more because it's that danger factor that makes it fucking awesome.
But you have to admit, in that movie, though,
Which movie?
Showgirls. That is some Class A crazy at times. Like, she goes... I mean, here's the whole deal. I'm gonna give... Elizabeth Berkley, right? That's the original actor.
Yeah.
Like, here's the whole deal. I'm gonna give her kudos. Like, she goes for it. Like, she is fearless as an actress in that regard. Like, she just goes for that shit. But there are moments in that movie where you're like, is this woman bipolar? Like, for real. Like,
no, she is in that movie, and that's fucking crazy. Like, some of the best sex
and you want to be on the receiving end of that.
Some of the best fucking I've ever done was with bipolar chicks. That sounds fucked up, actually. Now saying it out loud, I guess it sounds a little fucked up.
I guess.
But it's the truth. I mean, my ex-fiance, she was fucking legitimately crazy, but it was the most intense relationship that I've ever had with another human being. I feel like maybe that's the reason since then my relationships haven't been so good, is because I get bored with them so quick. I don't know.
Once you kind of hit that peak, I guess, of whatever it is, like stimulation.
Yeah,
let's
there's
say.
no.
It's
just boring. It's like, oh, I'm gonna watch The Bachelor while I do my fucking adult coloring book. Like, I don't. No,
domestic like, life kind of.
Get out of here. First
yeah.
of all, I'm not watching the fucking Bachelor ever again.
Is The Bachelor still on?
Yeah, it's still on, and so is The Bachelorette. I had to sit through fucking seasons of that show. I'm like, I don't fucking care. This is fake. It's all fucking fake. It's not real.
What wasn't it like when that show first debuted? They had the finale, and the Bachelor and whatever contestant got married. Didn't like a week or so later they were like, oh, it's all over, like they divorced or something happened.
Yeah, they started getting married to fucking split the money.
Yeah,
and so they would stay married for a year or whatever the contractual obligation was.
You think people would wise up to that and be like, "Oh, it's all a sham."
It is all a fucking sham. It's bullshit. And then so my first fiance, God rest her soul, in nomine patria, and what the fuck ever else he says.
Right.
I never fucking knew what was going to happen next with her, and that was exciting because she was constantly surprising me. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they were great surprises, sometimes they were not so great surprises. But in either case, she was never predictable. And I always thought that was amazing, you know? And every relationship I've been in since then, it's always been predictable. Like, I could say, 2 weeks into the relationship, I could be like, God damn it, in another week she's gonna want to do this, and then she's gonna want to do that, and I don't want to do that, and I'll fucking, what am I gonna do when it happens? And I would sit there and think about it, and then the day would come when it's like everything that I had prophesized, weeks prior. Just pattern recognition is all it is. You know what the patterns are, and all women want basically the same thing, just in different aspects. And so and things would fucking start. Instead of going out and doing fun shit, now she just wants to, I just want to stay in tonight. Let's stay in tonight, and we'll cuddle, and blah, 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 watching TV and movies. How my shows are on, and oh God, all right, I'll fucking sit on the couch and pretend to watch your fucking TV while I fantasize about somebody else who's doing something more exciting than you right now. And like, that's what it boils down to, is, when I was with, I'm not going to say her name,
once domestication
we would wake up in the morning, and I never knew what she was going to want to fucking do. Like, some days she's like, I just kind of want to sit inside and color today, and I'm like, okay, we'll color.
Yeah,
that's what you want to do. And we would color, and it didn't matter. We would literally sit for 6 hours and just, I would drink beer, and she would drink whatever the fuck she drank. I think it was Black House at the time, which is fucking disgusting. Yeah. And she would drink, and we would drink together, and we would color, and we would just it wasn't even the adult coloring books like they have now, with the markers and all the mandalas.
Right, the mandalas.
No, it was fucking like I think the coloring book that I was coloring in was like Walt Disney's fucking Robin Hood or whatever.
It was something to do.
It was just some sort of something to do, and then the next day she'd be like, I want to go hiking. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go. And we would go, and we would hike through fucking the Watch on Reservation, or I feel like going camping. Okay, this weekend we'll go camping. And I never knew, because I told her all the time, I'm like, whatever you want to do, we'll just do it. I don't care. Like, I don't care what we do.
A girl I was seeing at the time, I might have told you about this before, but I was seeing a girl before I moved out here to New Jersey. I had just kind of started seeing somebody a little bit. I mean, whether or not it was like something seriously invested, it was just kind of like, we met up, we fooled around, whatever.
Right.
But I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because of the fact that I happened to mention that I was like, I'm leaving the city. I'm leaving New York City. And they were like, well, this is an opportunity. I'm going to seize it, whatever. And so we ended up kind of seeing each other after I left, and she would come out and visit me from time to time. And it was like, yeah, similar deal. It's like, it would be very much around either, let's just stay in. Let's just hang out. Like, at this point, I hadn't had all my furniture moved in. So it's like, you want to just hang out and watch a movie on your small-ass TV? I'm like, sure, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Let's watch it. And then literally, like, the next time she visited, it's like, let's go out for a hike. Let's go out to Watchung. Let's go out to the Watchung Reservation. We would go out and hike. And it was kind of like, you know what? I like this. It's like, you don't know what to expect with somebody.
Right. And there's none of it. Nothing seems to get. It never gets repetitive.
No.
You know, and it's never predictable. And I think that's the draw with Crazy, is that unpredictability, that I never really know what's going to happen or where we're going to end up. But as we end up there together and we're having a good time, who fucking cares? You know, with my recent relationships, I know where we're gonna fucking end up, and I don't want to be there. I don't want to be sitting in an apartment again, watching the fucking same television show that we've been watching for the past 3 fucking weeks.
You don't want to get stuck in routine. Is what
not
it is.
even a
like,
routine. Yeah. I don't care if there's a routine, as long as it's not monotony. Like, I hate being sedentary, so I hate just fucking sitting. Like, I need to be stimulated. Mentally, physically, stimulate me. I gotta do something, okay? All my most recent ex wanted to do was like watch TV. And even when she wanted to go hiking, even when she would say to me, let's go hiking, she wouldn't say it when we were at the apartment. She wouldn't be like, hey, you know what, let's go have some lunch and let's go hiking.
There's a lead into it, yeah.
And she would never say it like that. She'd always be like, what do you want to do today? I'm like, I don't know, it's a gorgeous day. Maybe we'll take the bike out. She's like, yeah, let's take the bike out. All right, cool. So we take the bike out, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I have an idea. I'm going to put something in your GPS. Go there. Okay, cool.
Nice, an adventure.
Yeah, an adventure.
Like, yeah.
Let's go adventure.
Like
and it
that.
would be some fucking state park. And she would be like, all right, now let's go for a hike. We can reach this so we can be at the summit in like 2 hours. And I'm like, I'm not carrying my fucking gear up a mountain. Like, I'm not leaving my bike in this fucking parking lot. Like, why wouldn't you tell me before we left that you wanted to go hike? Like, I'm not going up this mountain in my fucking riding boots. Like, what? Tell me. I'll wear my I have gear for... I dress for the occasion. When I'm on the motorcycle, I dress to be on the motorcycle. When I'm hiking, I dress for fucking hiking. Mm-hmm. I got a big-ass hiking backpack. It's got a fucking water bladder in it. It's got pockets for fucking everything. It's a beautiful fucking backpack. I love this thing. I have shoes, boots for hiking. Like, I will dress for the occasion. Tell me there's a fucking occasion. If I think we're going to be riding, guess what I'm going to dress for? I'm going to dress to ride, and I'm going to dress to be riding all day.
Right.
I don't expect you to
yeah.
want to get off the bike and then hike for 3 fucking hours. Because first of all, like, being on a motorcycle, being in control of a motorcycle is a very physical thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not in a car. You can't just sit in it and go. Like, right. You have to
be in control of the apparatus.
Yeah, you have to have... You have to be in control of your muscles, because even if your weight is sitting over one side more so than the other, it's going to affect the way you ride. Mm-hmm. So if I would never take the bike if I was going to physically exert myself in any fucking type of way. And these were the things that made me feel like, well, she doesn't really want to do this because she knows that like, we're on the fucking bike. Like, why would you just randomly want to say to go hike and then tell me that I don't really want to go hiking, or I don't really hike, or I'm not really a hiker because we started out on the bike and now you want to go hiking, but you want me to park the bike, leave it here, and then carry all our fucking gear up a mountain? No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. We can come back tomorrow in the car, in hiking apparel, and with my backpack that has water and food and other thing, just in fucking case stuff in it, because that's what I keep. It's like my go bag, just in case. I have a bag that has it has distilled water. It has
resources,
a cookware set. It has some fucking like MREs in it, like, because you never fucking know.
Right.
So why would you tell me in the middle of riding that now you want to go do this? Well, no, I don't want to do that. You said we're riding today. I'm in fucking rider mode. I'm ready to do 400 fucking miles on this bike.
It's that unpredictability. It's like, yeah.
That's not unpredictability. That's just being a cunt. That's not unpredictability. That's inability to make a fucking decision.
Yeah.
If you're not happy with what you're doing, like, I can wake up in the morning and I can make a decision on what we're doing, and this is what I'm doing today. If I'm not happy with that decision, I can change it at any time. And I will. I'll say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do this. That's decision making. That's a decision making process. I have made a decision. I went with that decision. Didn't fucking like it. Decided to change. Made another decision to change. Indecisiveness is saying, I want to do this. Well, I want to do this too. So we'll do them both at the same time. No. I'm not riding the motorcycle and hiking at the same time. You can fuck yourself. Because I'm not having the bike stolen. No.
And I'm not getting lost in the woods.
I'm not carrying my fucking motorcycle helmet.
I'm not going to be stranded.
I'm not carrying my motorcycle helmet 1,280 fucking feet up a mountain.
Right.
Fuck you.
That's
No.
unrealistic, yeah.
And I'm not leaving it with the bike because someone's going to take that shit. Sorry. So, yeah, no. Unpredictability and excitement and shit like that is one thing, but indecisiveness is something completely different that I'm not attracted to at all. Make a fucking choice, okay? You have the ability, the cognitive ability, the physical ability. You have every ability in the world to be able to make the fucking choice. All you need are the nuts. Have the nuts to make a choice.
The figurative nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then lose the nuts because I don't want to fuck nobody with nuts. You know what I'm saying? Just
That'd be an unpleasant surprise. Yeah,
just
sure.
grow a pair and make a choice and then
Yeah.
lose the pair and come fuck me. That's all I'm saying. We're hungry. We're going to eat. Fuck you people.
Your entertainment ain't worth shit.
No, we're the entertainment. But
Alright.
the entertainment needs to fucking eat.